Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hello everyone, welcome back to SimSpeed TV. It's a Friday night and it feels like it's been a little while, but it's only been 3 weeks since we were last here with V8SCOPS action. It was at the mountain last time out and we head across the Pacific to the coasts of California and the streets of Long Beach. It will be the final Endurance Cup round for the main game come Sunday, but here tonight, we kick things off with our first two categories of support series action for a full weekend's worth of racing here this time out. My name is Daniel Gaiman, back on the mic once again in what feels like it's been forever. I'm joined in the comms box tonight by Simon Mazzomo, filling in for Reese Gardner. I look forward to hopefully having Reese back tomorrow for more regularly scheduled content there in the box, with Jay Kennedy taking care of the cameras for us this evening. And Mez, well, two categories of support racing action to come this way tonight. 6 races in total, as they are all super sprint, or all sprints in that sense. So will be one to watch, I think, here. Fingers crossed we have a good night to get the weekend off.
Yep, absolutely. You can see we're zooming down in the camera at the moment. We're heading over to Long Beach, just south of Los Angeles. As you said, 6 races tonight. We've got the 2-litre Tourist straight up, and then we've got the V8s afterwards. Obviously, a fairly track well known to the IndyCar scene, also to IMSA as well, has also featured here in the past. But yeah, we'll be bringing SCOPS action, and as you can see, it's a very, very tight circuit, a big long front straight with a short run, and that big turn 11 hairpin. That'll be challenging a lot of drivers tonight.
Well, you and I watched, so actually Jay too, we watched the action on Tuesday night with the AOG Porsche Cup here in the 992 cars. We'll get to see the Flat Sixes back out tomorrow night. So it almost could be considered a bit of a redux for all of us at the very least in terms of spectating stuff. Actually, not all of us, I should take correction there, because Jay won't be around for tomorrow night. But alas, yeah, I'm back here next week with the V8 Veterans on Thursday night. So tight, twisty track with the iconic run, shoreline drive around that, sweeping a kink, which doesn't count as a corner apparently, for reasons that are better left unsaid, it feels like, with American cornering conventions, at least, as well as sections like the fountain down there at Aquarium Ray, and of course, as you mentioned, there's that hairpin, which many drama has unfolded from cars getting a bit mixed up and confused here. Ex-Formula One track, now home to the IndyCar Series and also the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, a double-header weekend in the real world for those two categories at this stage.
Yep. And but yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it goes. We've sort of got a slight glimpse on how it went with the Flat Sixes, which, we'll be honest, we did something a bit different with the rolling starts, and it seemed to work well. There's obviously still a bit of a tension about whether or not that should have happened, but I think for the most part it went pretty well. But yeah, we can see for 2 litres tonight, 10-minute qualifying, which is on track at the moment. But race 1 will be a 20-minute race, with race 2 being a reverse grid. Final race 3 will be 20 minutes with a progressive grid. So cars are obviously on track at the moment going through qualifying. But we'll have a quick look at the championship first. Damon Mulqueen currently sits up top. Brady Baldwin just behind in second, with Simon Gorowski sitting in third, a little bit of the way back. So you can see that those points, the top 3 spots are still up for grabs. There's a few battles going on, but yeah, it's going to be getting close to the wire. We're rounding this championship up fairly quickly.
Yeah, we are. We've only got, I believe, for the 2-litre Tourers, one more event after tonight. That is how close we are to the end of their season. In saying that, we are only, including this weekend, 3 events left in all of V8SCOPS for 2023, if I can do math. So there is that to be to consider as well. So with that all said and done, Mez, we'll cut to the circuit and bring you now the final just under 2 minutes of qualifying here. As 5 cars currently out on track setting times. I'm hoping we'll get 7 to start this race off here. James Foster, Lindsay Hobbs apparently registered in the session, but not out on circuit. Hobbs in the pit lane. Fortunately, Foster, no sign of him just yet. But no surprises to me, at least, Mez, that the man to beat in qualifying is once again Damon Mulqueen here on screen in the number 42 for Synergy Sim Racing.
Yep, absolutely, and by a decent margin too, 6.69 seconds. So Damon, we've come to know he's a bit of an expert in the TCRs, and you can see just swinging that car around that turn 11. You got to have full lock on to get that thing around, especially with front wheel drive cars. Getting on the power, got to be so gentle, otherwise it just wants to start wheel spinning. We'll see him go across the line, and he's not far off as well. So he's setting consistent lap times. Tyson Hanmar coming out of the final corner as well. We'll see what lap time he can do. His last lap was a 27.6. Will he be able to go quicker this time? We'll go a 10th quicker by the looks of that. So we'll close that gap up a little bit. But yeah, still about half a second to the better Mulqueen has at the moment.
Yep, and with the heat racing format, Mulqueen and Hanma, their laps are done tonight. Lindsay Hobbs is going to get out on track for maybe 30 seconds of warm-up here for him. Unfortunately, we'll miss out on a chance to set a lap in qualifying. Brady Baldwin is not out on track currently, so he will be done P3, the best that he can do. And Ben Faulkner, having just headed out of the pits as well, and won't be able to get back out on track. So that will have set the grid here for race 1 of 3 in the 2-litre Tourers. bring it up on screen for you here in just a second. There with Damon Mulqueen taking another pole position here tonight to get things underway. He'll be sharing that front row with Tyson Hanma in the Vermilion Motorsports number 18. P3 is going to go to Brady Baldwin there in the second of the Synergy cars. Number 7, Ben Faulkner, the number 8, second of a Vermilion Motorsport cars. Sorry, they're joining us tonight to make the Synergy Vermilion pairing in that order. On the row, Simon Gorowski, slowest car in qualifying for tonight, will start at a P5. Then there's a question mark around James Foster there in P6. Not sure if he'll make it. And unfortunately for Lindsay Hobbs, may or may not be the 6th or 7th and final driver, is currently sitting back on the final spot in the grid. So there's how they're gridding up at the moment here, Mez. Manual safety car in the hands of Henry King will mean that, of course, that if we need a safety car intervention, he'll come out on circuit in the Pagnini Imports Porsche Cayman 718 GT4. But now just a matter of waiting out the clock here for the grid.
Yeah, I'd safely say that we probably won't need a safety car in this one, but getting themselves ready to get these things off the grid. I drove these things at Bathurst, if people might remember, and getting these things off the line, I learnt the hard way. They are very, very difficult to do. So it'd be interesting to see how quick they all get off the line tonight, and the run to turn 1. Who will be able to get there before everyone else?
Yeah, long gearing here in these Hyundai Elantras, which are making up a dominant part of the field, and even also the Honda Civic is here as well. Racing sequential gearbox, long first gear in particular, means that it takes a bit to get these cars to wind up and get away off the line with no driver aids permitted either here as per standard configuration for Oceanic Sim Racing server. Of course, you've got to make sure you don't stall out, otherwise your car is going absolutely nowhere and you'll need to refire it before you can get away.
Yep, and there we are. Revs rise. The timer has expired. We wait for the green. And there it is, and away we go. And a good initial jump from Damon, but it looks like a really good start from Hanma. He's going to have a very good run on the inside. Obviously, the corner curving. They're 3 wide just behind as well as they make the run up to turn 1. It looks like it's going to be Tyson Hanma, but Mulqueen's going to make him have a think about it. Try and get the nose to the inside, but can't quite get the brilliant start from Hanma. There's a little bit of rubbing behind, but they're all going to get through perfectly fine. First time through past the fountain. We've got one car slow in the background. It looks like that might be Lindsay Hobbs. That's just going to look a bit slowly. A slight rub on the wall.
That's a bit more... Sorry to cut you off there, Mez, but unfortunately for Lindsay Hobbs, that has not gone well at all. I do believe that's the outside wall of turn 1 that has bitten the 27. And can't confirm looking back on my end. He's found the tyres already way back at the first corner. So from 6, we're down to 5 cars in working order. And it's quickly becoming a 2-horse race, as despite the pressure that Mulqueen's putting on Hanma here for the lead. Ben Faulkner behind there in what is currently a green and black Hyundai Elantra, not able to go with our lead 2 as they make their way up to turn 9 for the first time.
Yeah, Brady having a bit of a look as well. Had a really good run coming out of turn 8, but couldn't quite get the nose there. But you can see up front at the moment, Mulqueen's all over the back of him at the moment. Had to check up really quite a bit there. Oh, there's a bit of pushing and shoving as they come out of the final corner. Looked like someone Gorowski was just having to tap on the rear bumper. Everyone's slowing down so much, and just sort of a bit of a slight nose to tail. So they'll run side by side heading up to turn 1. But you can see leaders at the moment, Linus Stern, and there we can see Brady Baldwin on the inside, but he's actually going to slide it behind. Simon got a good enough run down the front straight, and will move up extra spot into P4.
Well, let's have a look here real quick at the replay for Lindsay Hobbs. And unfortunately, cold tyres in these TCR class cars, Mez. No braking performance like he needed. And it just runs in too hot there at turn 1 and completely ruins the front right corner of our lone Hyundai Veloster. He's in the pits, but with no fast repair to his name either. That's going to be a long way back. As on the live pitches, once again, looking here at Gorowski and Baldwin fighting over 5th and 6th. Pardon me, 4th and 5th, apologies. Yeah, got to get my numbers right here. Is our lone Honda to break up the Hyundai party. The field doing all right here. Shorter wheelbase, might be a little bit more nimble and not too bumpy around here either. Throw that car off as well. But still, the Elantra being the car of choice for many a driver in this field. As you can see there through turn 9, they're all up and over the inside curbs, despite the serrated second pair on the inside at the flatter curb there, Mez. And then really having to throw it in, as you said, in these cars, get the car turned in early through the hairpin, and so you can get on the power as soon as you can without running out into the outside wall.
Yeah, noticing as well, just on that Honda, just through that section, really, you see the rear just sort of bobbling around a bit. As you say, the Honda is sort of the more nimble version. Haven't driven these cars in a while, but the Honda is definitely, traditionally, has been the more nimble version. Hasn't really got the straight line speed, but where it comes to corners, it's usually outperforming them. And you just see how much it's just bouncing around out there at the moment. But Brady Baldwin, just all over the back at the moment. Being such a tight circuit, just really got to try and set this move up. Just can't sort of go for a bit of a dive. He's going to go to the outside, maybe try and throw a little bit of a fakie here. Yep, there it is. Throws it to the inside, get the nose there. Is he going to get up enough? Not quite. Good move from Simon there. Just left the door open enough, but because the corner opened itself up, he just focused on getting off the corner and managed to hold on to that position. But now they'll run out of turn 8, head towards turn 9. Brady's going to be having the draft here. Is he going to have a think about it, this one as well? He flicks to the inside. Is he going to try and go under brakes? Just gets the nose there, but still can't quite do it. Just does not have the run on the straight at the moment. He's slowing down quite a bit as well. I wonder if maybe took too much curb and got a little bit of a slowdown there.
He said something over the radio which sounded similar to the word slowdown, but didn't quite make it out there, unfortunately for us at least. But we'll check back in with our fight for 4th later, because this is the fight for the race lead. Hanma having the number 42 of Damon Mulqueen looking at his inside there for turn 1, but Mulqueen decides not this time here at the start of what is lap 4 in this race. Time certain for all our races here in the 2-litre Tourers tonight. So at the current rate of things, we're looking at probably around 15 or so laps here this evening. We'll head to the next of our SimSpeed replays for this evening. This is Ben Faulkner, who's running in 3rd place, Mez. That's a little hot. That's going to be the tyres, but how much? Not much.
Oh, he's got away with that one. Yeah, I don't think he would have gotten any damage out of that. But yeah, you don't want to play that. You don't want to try and get too close to that wall. Hit it on the wrong angle. It's just game over. So, but yeah, Tyson's doing a fantastic job in this. Considering the deficit in qualifying, we would have thought that yeah, Mulqueen was sort of just drifted off into the distance. But no, Handmar's holding on to this top spot and obviously gapping a little bit as well. We did notice a little bit of a mistake from Mulqueen in that previous lap, but yeah, the lap times are pretty close, and he's definitely holding that gap at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be a genuine fight for 1st place, which is, yeah, we'd love to see it, especially with such a short field. Handmar actually just punches in the fastest lap of the race just as we go across the line. So yeah, the battle for 1st is well and truly alive in this one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, it is important, valuable to see. Yeah, what the qualifying deficit or lack, and well, there was a deficit in qualifying, I should say, but how that doesn't seem to matter all too much to Hanma. Is able, as you said, maintain the lead and not really having to defend all that much. Can focus on his race line and the racing line, as it were, and look after the car that way. In a sense, update for us. Here on the timing tower and also in game. Unfortunately, having gone a lap down to damage repair, looks like Lindsay Hobbs going to call it an early night in the number 27 Excalibur Esports entry and our lone Hyundai Veloster for the race, which means we are down to a field of 4 Hyundai Elantras and 1 Honda Civic. So that will be it for the rest of the night. James Foster not taking the start. And no sign of him either in the session at this stage. So really going to be, yeah, these 2 pair battles that we've got with Faulkner sort of in no man's land, Mez, but this time by Hanma a little bit worse off the hairpin, and Mulqueen already up on the tailpipe of the number 18.
Yep, right there. And he's got a nose up the inside. He's going to be on the outside when they get to turn 1. but it's going to be interesting if he can actually get the nose in front before they get there. They're neck and neck as they run down. He's going to try and break around the outside. He's got the job done. He's had to check it up a little bit, so it's going to allow Hanma to sort of get back onto the rear bumper. But yeah, that is a difficult move to try and pull off, and he's done that really, really well. Hats off to Mulqueen there. Now we'll see, can he check off into the distance a little bit, or is Tyson going to be there hanging on the back? Looks like he's holding on for the moment. He's going to be obviously wanting to use that draft as much as he can to stick with Damon. And you can see just coming off the corners, Damon just sort of coming off the corner a tiny little bit better at the moment, but the draft will keep him there. Run through turn 8 and onto the back straight. So just holding on for the moment, but yeah, hopefully Tyson has the pace and he can hang on to the back of Mulqueen.
I think realistically we're looking at maybe a couple more corners, unless there's little mistakes like that there from Mulqueen. Exit at turn 9. The rear gets away from him there under power, which is not something you'd normally say about a front-wheel drive car. And then he's a little deep into the hairpin at 11. So despite the fact that we know Mulqueen on one lap in qualifying situations has the pace advantage, looks like he's still feeling the pressure, wants to clear out here from the 18 of Hanma. And actually, despite the fact he pushed it all the way to the wall, the exit of the hairpin there does pull out a couple of hundredths initially down the straight. And I think now, as long as he maintains a good rhythm and a good pace here, he will be able to clear out from the number 18 in second. Though, when they come out into the fountain, I'm going to wait for the timing here to update for us. Yeah, it does pop out. There we go. Pulls nearly a 10.5 through the fountain. But as he gets so aggressive through turn 5. So, yeah, still not done is the 42 in terms of trying to set absolute heaters. We might want to turn our attention back to Gorowski versus Baldwin, though, as that one is still certainly hot and raring for some action.
Yep. Look back to him now, and you can see he's all over the back of him, and the pace difference is quite something. You can see Brady's just all over the back of him, but just can't seem to get the car there. And you know, we sort of would have assumed, being the Lantra is going to have a little bit more pace on the straight, just hasn't quite been able to get the nose. He's going to stick the nose out again. He's going for a big dive this time. He's going to get the car up there, but once again, Simon Gorowski's been able to just position the car just that little bit wider of the apex and just get a good run off the corner. So maybe it just need to we'll go to a quick replay as well. And that is so. Actually, that's a rub. That is, he has touched the wall. Actually, they both did. Yeah, they both touched the wall coming off the corner. That would explain why Tyson had a really rough run off the corner too. We would have expected him to catch up a bit, but no, he also had a pretty rough run off the corner. So that explains that one for us as well. We'll flick back to this battle real quick, but yeah, just got the pace everywhere. There's a little, that looked like a little bit of a rub on the wall there for Simon, but gets away with that one. But yeah, Brady's really just got to try and set this up. The moves he's gone for at the moment, Simon's out into the counter, so he's got to try and either get Simon offline where he doesn't want to be, or try to go for a move somewhere else, because at the moment just does not seem like he's got enough pace to get past where he's trying at the moment. They're
both lapping in the 128s. I mean, the way Baldwin, despite that lunge last lap, was only 0.078 slower than Gorowski. It does suggest to me that if Brady can string things together here, he does have a little bit more pace. And the other thing is, if they don't fight each other too hard, they might have a chance of catching up to Ben Faulkner. The way the gap there is ebbing and flowing is probably worth noting. As we watch in here, two different lines. Gorowski almost puts the car in the apex wall at the hairpin and immediately comes across to try and get a better drive, but I think that was a bit of a wiggle from the 326 Alpha Venturi Civic. And now Baldwin inside, coming up for turn 1. Eventually, got to get through the kink here on the front straight. And that kink, it's called a bridge turn. Here we go, side by side down towards turn 1. And the number 7 will be ahead by the apex, will take the racing line on exit. And finally, 4th place is back in the hands of Brady. Oh, back in the hands? Let me double check that one. No, that's a 1 spot back for Brady Baldwin. He's got to go try catch Faulkner for an extra spot. That there, Mez, with that top-down shot with thanks to Jay Kennedy on the SimSpeed replay. That was all it took for the Civic to just not have the run off of the final corner that he needed to, Gorowski, that is, to obviously protect that P4 position.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was kind of hoping we'd get to see, because it just looked like the car just got loose off the corner. It just didn't get the power down, whether or not it seemed like, like it was just the rear got a bit loose, it was just unsettled. So yeah, seeing that top down camera, that paints the picture exactly of what happened there. Just couldn't get the run off the corner, and that's just allowed Brady to get the job done quite comfortably. But Simon's not letting him go. He's hanging on the rear bumper, and this battle, I don't think, is going to finish up any time soon. We're going to have 6 minutes. Oh, that's another rub on the wall, I believe. Got 6 minutes 30 left on the clock, and that's allowed that gap to push out quite a bit. He'll be just falling out of draft range, I think, at that point. Yep. So, yeah, that's not the greatest run off that final corner. So 2 laps in a row, having little issues getting off that final corner, but we'll see if he can close that gap back down and try and have a run it again at Brady.
Yeah, well, that was just understeering so much was Gorowski, trying to get the car to turn in at the hairpinners. Just over the radio, I've heard reported, and can see it for myself on my entries tab, the number 8 of Ben Faulkner. Mechanical black flag from iRacing. He's reporting he picked up at the hairpin at the end of lap 9 that they've just completed, and they're currently on lap 10. And he's claiming it's a glitch, but I reckon he's just grabbed the wall. So you can also see, though, look there it is, left front fender, Mez. And I think the left rear might have a couple of... Now, so it's the left front in particular, which doesn't look too healthy. But in saying that, that's the opposite side of the car for the apex wall of the hairpin. And the car's driving, he's got pace, but yeah, if he doesn't get that, if he doesn't get permission to have that cleared out, which is would he sort of different, sort of be against the norm in this case, because now with that that meatball flag, actually he's 1 minute 28.0, and not good news for Faulkner. He's just been advised that that meatball, having been iRacing issued, he will have to serve it. So no leniency from Henry King, which I was going to say is pretty typical. So despite the fact he's got pace for P2 and the cars ahead and behind him, that is, going to have to take a trip down pit lane there.
Yeah, I don't believe you can actually clear them either. So
you can. I can tell. I will tell you that you can. They are treated like just any old black flag that as a hosted session admin can remove, because it's effectively a penalty. It's just not a penalty for driving standards. It's just a penalty for having put yourself in a position that caused yourself damage. To put it in different words, being told that visual damage has not changed since lap 1, but yeah, wouldn't have been allowed to go this long with an iRacing meatball. And Mez, are you tracking back through things to see if you can find perhaps a sign of what might have done it?
Yeah, lap 8, exit of turn 8 is there was already a bend in the front prior to it, but lap 8 he's actually clipped the wall quite hard, and that's punched that front right tyre at quite an odd angle. So you absolutely would have been having that for quite a few laps.
Whop. There we go.
So
just there.
Yep. Yeah. So we might be getting a replay in 2 seconds. There we go. And you can see just out of the corner, boom, right up against the wall. And that's what does it. You can see as soon as he hits that wall, punches that front left tyre. That front left tyre just goes all the wrong direction. So he's done a good job to keep it going. But yeah, interesting. That if that was a mechanical flag for that, I don't see how he kept going for as long as what he did. So unless there was something else that happened on track that has triggered it, but yeah, unsure why that has happened, but we've got no damage because of it. But the actual physical damage that we can see on the car didn't trigger one. So, yeah, and it looks like it's just a very, very short stop to get that repaired. Maybe it was just a change of the tyre and off it goes again. But, yeah, very unfortunate. It's obviously doing a fantastic job. We're sitting in P3 at that time and comfortably had that position sorted. So, yeah, unfortunate to have that happen.
Claimed no required repair time and no optional repair time to add to the mystery. And thing is, I'm not sure if my timing can be trusted right now because it seems to have had a bit of a fit with being a heat server, but it might have been 16, 17 seconds in the box to clear the penalty. Because, well, yeah, he's back out there, able to drive, and no flag next to the name of Ben Faulkner in that number 8 car. So, unfortunately, knocking him out of contention for this race, but will be effectively the driver in pole position for race number 2 in about 2 minutes' time. Give or take some change because Mulqueen heading down the backstraight already towards turn 9. We'll take the white flag this time by, and then we'll take pretty much no break and go straight into race number 2 of 3 for our 2-litre tourers here tonight.
Worth noting as well, and just sort of confirmed by our race controller Henry King, no limit on fast repairs tonight. So that would assume when we look at that pit stop being as quick as what it was, that would explain it. Because I'm not sure if we're meant to have fast repairs, but we have them tonight apparently. Yeah, and that would be how he got away with it.
I did see the car just the whole front left corner when he pulled into the pits just popped out, and I didn't even think that fast repair was the answer because usually we don't see those in Oceanic sim racing events. But indeed, I look at the info tab, and lo and behold, we do have it's slightly different to normal. But alas, white flag was taken back across the start-finish line here by Damon Mulqueen in the SSR number 42. So he has himself now just about half a lap left of Long Beach here for race 1 of 3. 14 laps will be the total count for this first race of 3 tonight. So that will be probably what we expect to see the rest of the way this evening. Unfortunately, it looks like our fights have all fizzled out. Goroski not able to stick with Baldwin, and Hanma holding at around 4 seconds back off of Mulqueen, who's just continuing to ramp up pace here. Mez, the only car into the 1 minute 26 bracket as we come to the end of this one. So with just 2 corners thereabouts. So apparently this is one double apex corner here, then the hairpin turn 11 to round it back. Gets it out nice and tidy. Damon Mulqueen will chalk up another P1 result to his name here in the 2-litre Tourers this year. He puts 1 of 3 on the board for tonight here at Long Beach.
Yep. Tyson Hanma will come across the line. Solid effort to come in P2, and Brady Baldwin had to do a bit of work. We can see in the background it's a deciding to try and drift the Honda, and unfortunately it's not Tokyo Drift, so that's not going to happen tonight. Ben Faulkner will be making his way around, be finishing up last in this race, but yes, effectively will be a pole position for the upcoming race.
Yep, and once he's across the line, we'll be able to transition as Goroski's decided to take out a bit of frustration, it seems, on the poor 326 down at turn 1.
I was gonna say, for a second there, he was starting to prove me right, because he had that thing full sideways going into turn 1. I was like, oh, apparently you can Tokyo Drift a TCR around here, but no, it didn't quite work out the way he wanted it to.
And with that, the race is complete, and we get ready to jump into race 2. So, that is your results there for race 1. Damon Mulqueen walks away your winner, ahead of Hanma, Baldwin, Goroski, and Faulkner. Unfortunately, we lost Lindsay Hobbs during that race. Well, damage on lap 1, too much to sustain, which is interesting. It's not been ready for the fast repairs that have been enabled, it seems, tonight there, and has not come back. So Faulkner will be the effective pole position car, even though it will be in the 4th grid slot here at Long Beach, and then reverse everyone around from where they finished race number 1. So at the very least, it means they'll all be grouped up together just a little bit further back on the grid. So waiting on what looks to be Goroski there. Then we've got everyone ready to rock and roll. And he gets there just in time, Mez, because there go the revs with a 1 minute countdown here in this immediate turnaround. Time to get the second race underway here from Long Beach in the 202 as we go. And Faulkner does not. He stalls out the number 8.
Oh, I thought I saw him move too as well. There was a slight movement. I think he might actually have a penalty for that one. If he's good for that one. But yeah, it lurched a little bit, then it just did not go anywhere as they got the run down to turn 1. Simon Gorowski will lead them into turn 1. Brady Baldwin in second. David McQueen will slot into third place. Ben looks like, yes, sorry, yep. And then, yeah, Ben Faulkner will be a bit further. Sorry, Brady Baldwin will be behind Ben Faulkner a bit further back. Unfortunately, not able to get off the line. So this battle will resume up front. You can see Tyson, this is his opportunity. He wants to try and get a win over Damon McQueen. He'll have to try and dispatch Simon as quick as he can. They make the run up towards turn 8. Doing a very good job at the moment, Simon is just keeping that gap at a little bit, but now they swing out of turn 8, run down the back straight towards turn 9. You can see Tyson's got the draft. He's going to pull out and try and have a bit of a look. They head down to turn 9, hard on the brakes, down the inside. He's got the car a lot further alongside than what we saw Brady earlier. They're going to go side by side. It's going to get to the hairpin. They're going to try and do this side by side. Simon comes across, but he's well wide of the apex there, but that's going to check everyone up. And now Brady Baldwin's going to have a run out of the final corner.
Side by side between the Synergy boys for third place here after that movement there. So at the end of lap 1, we've now got ourselves 3 leaders across the 2 races here, with Goroski adding a lap to his name alongside of Hanma and Mulqueen, as Brady will actually roll out of the throttle into turn 1 here. He knows his fight's not with his own teammate in this race so far. Yeah, ambitious from Hanma, tried to stick around the outside of turn 10, but cold tyres in a front-wheel drive car to boot. Not able to make it work, but did get into the rear bumper, as we'll have a look here at the race start once again. Unfortunately, we'll just watch there. As you said, there you go, indeed. Just for Ben Faulkner, getting it into first a little early, and then it stalled on the second attempt, the launch, and just got away without getting a black flag, as you suspected might be the case. But that certainly was a little close to call. It's back to the live pitch as we go here now on lap 2. Goroski from Hanman and Mulqueen, they're all stacking up behind the 326 Honda Civic for Alpha Venturi. And here we go, Hanma for the second time looking to the right-hand side of that car. But the apex of turn 9 will be his attempt this time round.
Yeah, got a bit further up alongside, but they're still going to be side by side. Simon's not giving this one up, and he does not need to at all. Running over the curve. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. Oh, he's going to drift
still second.
But yes, he's actually done that well. He's managed to slot right in between them. That is amazing. But now they're going to make the run down the front straight. Now, is he close enough to have a run at Hanma? I don't think so. That Honda's not really closing up as quick as what he would like. Tyson's going to move it out a little bit to try and defend, but doesn't look like he's going to be under any sort of attack there. So now this will be the opportunity for Hanma. Can he check out this battle, and can Simon hold Mulqueen back a little bit? This is his opportunity to try and sneak this one out. Go back and have a quick look at replay. You can see over the curve, it gets the car sideways. There's a bit of a tap in the door. There's a lot of door-to-door contact there, but that is amazing how they've all gotten through there. You would have thought someone would have gotten put sideways, but all the drivers involved in that one did a fantastic job to give enough room. And yeah, everyone can play on. That was a bit awesome.
It certainly was. In fact, that contact was just enough to straighten Goroski up and actually just plant the throttle when the car stuck. So it was great for him, but unfortunately the Civic not really playing, it seems, to his strengths, or at least not compared to the strengths of the Elantra. Mulqueen going to be the second one to have a crack at the apex of turn 9. This time, though, 326 will hold on, but then it slides through turn 10. This time, Mulqueen might be able to make it work around the outside of 10, and he will. The apex of 11 opens up, but then check up on the hairpin. Someone involved as well. All 3 of them go nowhere, and Tyson Hanma, if he's watching his rear mirrors, will be absolutely delighted with this, as, yeah, my word. three cars try to go into one almost. And Mulqueen's just all went on the radio immediately about it for what it's worth. But I think we'll go to the replay. But even then, I'm watching back the broadcast. It's slightly delayed as well as this prod feeders. How about that second time? 2 races down, and Mulqueen makes another pass on the outside of turn 1 stick.
Oh, looking at that front left of that car's not looking happy. So you can see what Simon's thought here. Hit it out wide, try to get a run off the corner, but then, wonder. Oh, maybe I have to try to get another look at that one if we can. But yeah, just sort of there was a little bit of a check up in the middle of the corner, and just sort of everyone had nowhere to go. But even then, they've still done well to try and get through there without any major damage. And Brady's going to go for a big dive. He's going to get it alongside. They know he won't. He's going to get out the other side. Simon's going to keep that position. So once again, Brady just... He can get the car along the inside, but just can't quite finish the job. And look who's in the background after a very shocking start, to say the least. Now Ben Faulkner is going to be looking at this battle, thinking, "I can get it
again."
as well. Baldwin with the big dive up the inside. Oh no! Oh no! And and Benjamin Faulkner, as I was speaking, is going to get alongside, and Simon's going to bolt straight into pit lane. Have a look on replay. Big dive. There we go. And just a little bit of a check up in the middle of the corner. And yeah, so it wasn't too big of a damage, but we'll see what's happened here. That's a big dive. He wasn't really going to pull that one up in the end, and that's worked out really well for Benjamin Faulkner. But yeah, and Simon having to duck into pit lane. Because, had a meatball flag coming off the corner, so we would have copped big damage from that hit.
Yeah. And Gorowski not impressed to the point of saying, thanks for that one. I'm out, folks. So that has cut our field from, 6 cars starting race 1, 5 cars starting race 2, and at this stage going to be 4 cars starting race 3, unfortunately. In some senses there, I guess I can understand that one from Simon. That was 2 laps in a row where a Cindy sim racing car went for the move up the inside of the hairpin, and there wasn't a car's width left for him on the outside whilst he tried to defend the spot. And I wouldn't say that was of his own creation per se, but had the faster pair in hand, would have had a chance in race 3 to potentially cover. And for all you know, maybe someone can't make it back to the pits. We get a safety car out here that potentially causes things to have to take a breather and reset. As we'll have a look here at how the racing's going up front. And it's currently Tyson Hanmer out of himself and Damon Mulqueen fastest on track. But Ben Faulkner looking to try and change things around there. Goes to a 27.3 as Brady Baldwin's found the tyres on the exit of turn 1 in the number 7. Faulkner in the number 8 as well. And it's actually a wee bit more than just finding the tyres. And yep, mechanical black flag will show up for the number 7 here, Mez. So he'll have to limp that one a long way around back to the pits.
Yeah, those front tyres are looking very cross-eyed at the moment. You can see there's a lot of damage to that front right. We'll see. We've got a camera on the outside. Everyone's...
Faulkner got it too.
Faulkner, yeah. That is a big hit. But yeah, did notice that as well as Faulkner got into the wall as well, but he's managed to get out of that one without much trouble. Look at the amount of turn he's got in the car at the moment just to get the thing to go straight. So yeah, not ideal, but not end of the world. He'll obviously have a fast repair that he can get into and get back out on track. But not ideal. That's definitely not the kind of camber that you like in your car.
Camber, toe, one of the two. Here's the other side, the exit of turn 1. So Faulkner runs it in hot, and it's a hit and a compression of the guard. But Brady Baldwin, even faster. I think critically for him here, he gets both the front right and the rear right corners into it there.
Oh no, I was sort of thinking for a second. I was like, Brady just saw that happen and I thought, well, anything you could do, I could do better, because he came in with a lot of speed when he hit that barrier. But we'll have another look at what's going on here.
The hairpin.
Go around the
Oh.
hairpin. Oh, no. Wait, turn. He's going to have to Austin Powers his way around that corner. Oh, dear. Well, parallel, well, 3-point turns, when they say, you got to learn to do your 3-point turns to get your license, well, guess what? It's got a racing application as well. So you can't say it wasn't worth it.
Indeed. Yeah, so it now puts us down to 3 cars effectively in the race. Baldwin back out on track, but almost a whole lap behind us. Baldwin still struggling to get that car to pull up the way I'm sure he'd like at the final hairpin. Really trying to drive it in, and I think overdriving it to an extent, it seems, with that last. We'll see here what his lap time is when he comes across the line. 1:28.0 apparently. Yes, versus a 27.7 for both of the Vermilion cars either side of him here. So if Ben Faulkner can keep this up, he might get just enough time to put some pressure on the 42 and probably help guarantee Tyson Hammer that 5-odd second margin he's currently got for a race lead, and give us 2 race winners here tonight, despite the fact that Mulqueen strong in qualifying, strong eventually there in race 1 once he cleared Hanmer after having lost that lead position off the race start. It looks like he's overdriving. Well, he's overdriving in a couple of spots, I think. But I'd be curious to see if that's what it looks like. Okay, that is definitely pushing the limits.
Yeah.
Same for Faulkner in behind him too.
Yeah, they are pushing hard at the moment. And looking at the sector tires as they come in as well. And look at this. First sector, 23.7, 23.7. Second sector, 13.6, 13.6. Third sector, 23.3, 23.3. So Hanmar and Mulqueen are just matching each other sector by sector at the moment. And you can see that, Mulqueen's pushing at the moment. He doesn't want to give up the opportunity. There's 8 minutes left in this race. He's still got plenty of opportunities to close this gap down and get the win. But at the moment, Hanmar is just doing everything he needs to. He's just keeping that gap as it is, keeping it controlled. That last lap around, Mulqueen actually went 2/10 faster in the final sector, so had a really good run through the final turn. But that's all he's got to keep doing. Just keep slowing the progress of Mulqueen, and he'll get this thing to the end and pick up the win.
So looking at that one there, curious to see how things go, because mind you, at 2/10 a lap, Hanmer should have this one in control for now. Just a question of whether Mulqueen can keep turning up the pressure, perhaps to maybe cause a mistake, perhaps. I don't know. All of these possibilities as to how this race will finish up as we watch our 3 drivers still in this one here. All together of sorts on this back straight between turns 8 and 9 here at Long Beach. Do have dynamic weather in the session, as in the meantime, they're Brady Baldwin will just go into punch a 27.0 to be a little quicker than these 3. Currently, that looks a little nicer from Mulqueen through the hairpin too. But coming back to the weather, we can see here approaching 4 o'clock virtual time at Long Beach on an October, basically today's date, as it were. A little bit of cloud cover, still a reasonably warm air and track temperature here, although also got a nice breeze acting as headwind of sorts down the front straight. More effective a tailwind between turns 8 and 9 from what I'm seeing here at this point.
Yeah, so the weather's pretty good, especially the track temp as well. It's a decent track temp. It's good, very good for setting some decent lap times, as we are seeing from Brady just then, at 27 dead. You can see on screen at the moment, Mulqueen still pushing that car hard. That car looking a lot more straighter, we would say, after obviously what happened earlier in the race. So the fast repair doing its job. Really good run through that final corner. Got it right on the apex, drove it off the corner well. Be interesting to see if he was going to be able to go faster again this lap time by, or hit the line and a bit slower by looks of it, second slower. So yeah, the start of that lap wasn't that great, but Ben Faulkner just having a notice now, first 2 sectors is the session fastest lap time. So sector 3 wasn't that great, but the opening 2 sectors, he was absolutely on it. So this battle as well, Ben Faulkner still trying to close in that gap while Mulqueen is trying to catch the guys in front. And Tyson Hammer actually does a personal best lap time, and Mulqueen answers back with a personal best lap time. So these 3 are just absolutely going hard at it to try and go for this win. And we'll get the last laps on screen at the moment, bottom right corner. So Tyson Hammer with the 27.5, Mulqueen with the 27.3, and then Faulkner with the 27.4. So you can see if they were a little bit closer together on track, it had 100% be a very, very tough battle for second place at the moment.
Yeah, it would. It's a shame that they all got stretched out with all of the chaos that happened for Mulqueen, Baldwin, and Gorosky at one point, and Faulkner's bad start, knocking him out of the fight. I mean, yeah, we get this sort of this stretch and this sort of this battle of ifs, buts, and maybes here for race 2 of our 2-litre Tourers action here at Long Beach. Coming up to what should be 3 laps to go, according to my timing, and given we're almost 4 minutes to go and they're entering and exiting turn 9, depending on who you're talking about at this point, that would seem to line up, all things considering here. As we keep our eyes on Mulqueen once again, now getting that car to pull up at the hairpin quite nicely, unlike what I was seeing earlier on in the race. At least Hanma does a 27.4. Mulqueen will do a 27.2, although almost 3. Still nearly pulls 2/10 out of the race leader. And Faulkner behind only does a 27.6 mess, so the advantage swings to Mulqueen, but again, time is running out. He's going to need more than 2/10 as he's almost too deep at turn 1. But thankfully, almost is not enough to put him in the walls.
Yep, almost is where you want to be. You want to be using every little bit of the track that you can. It's interesting, the lap times just keep getting quicker and quicker as this race goes on. Just keep watching those split times come in. That just, yeah, they're finding more and more pace everywhere. But can't help but think to myself that last lap when we had that camera shot sort of heading up to turn 9, looking at how dark the clouds were and everything else, just a little bit waiting for the day that iRacing finally gets rain, because I'd be looking at that saying to myself, you know what, wouldn't it be good if we just had a shower of rain right on the last lap just to see how these guys handle it. But at the moment, no, we unfortunately won't get a chance to see the rain just yet. It is coming, and you can look at those clouds at the moment. They look very menacing in the background.
I mean, that's true, because if it came that late in a race, there's no value in coming for wet tyres. So it is entirely a game of how well do you know your car, how well do you trust your tyre temperature, and how well do you know to pull things up a little early to make sure you don't just skid on past the corner. Certainly, that is true. I mean, look, those are all the things that I await with interest, and to see how also things like league racing as well plays out, because I get the feeling when rain comes, given I'm a league organizer myself, I'm going to have my guys chomping at the bit to tell me rain, rain, rain. At least, or don't be afraid to maybe use a proper real-world forecast. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to it in the sense that, yeah, it'll allow more. You can actually potentially use full realistic weather, either forecasts or real-world weather data. So if you happen to schedule a race on a weekend at a venue that happened to get wet, that might be useful. As draw your attention to our comparison here at the bottom of the screen. Mr. Mazzoma, I'll stop talking about the weather here as we've got almost a lap to go. And just as we're coming to the end of this race, Damon Mulqueen goes and finds 7/10 on Tyson Hanma. I feel like, though, he needed that about 5 laps ago, unfortunately, because Mr. Hanma is going to meet the white flag from Barney's. That was awfully wide. We'll keep this up on screen, though, and see what these laps they've just completed here. Lap 13 of this race, 27.5. Going to play a 27.5 as well to stabilize that with 1 lap left here in race 2 for the 2-litre Tourers.
Yep, 1 lap to go.
Oh, Hanma's wide.
Hanma! Concentrate, buddy, concentrate. Maybe we've accidentally made it rain and you just missed the braking mark at turn 1. the final part I will mention about wet weather is everyone's excited to get it until they have to drive in it. So that's the part I'm waiting for when it finally turns up. But Hanmar lost probably about 6/10.
A whole second. He lost a whole second.
A whole second there as well, actually. Yes. So, but that's not bad. He picked a good corner to do that in, because you can easily recover from it. But heading through turn 8 at the moment, comes out the other side. Only a few more corners to go. You've still got a significant gap. So. Just bring it home, Tyson. You don't need to push very hard to get it to the checkered flag.
No, he doesn't. Just 2 corners left. I'd call it 3, but it's a left and a right, more or less. Here is your round turn 10 and tucks into turn 11 nice and tidy. The lap time will be pretty shocking on this one here. Mulqueen will have had just sniffed opportunity, it seems. We've also almost lost Ben Falcon there right towards the end, but race 2 will go the way of Tyson Hanmer to turn fortunes around for him there in the number 18 and split it, win a piece between himself and Damon Mulqueen. And that will just leave us Brady Baldwin, who unfortunately that's not looking too healthy for the number 7. He's not going to have a black flag to his name at this stage, but has found the wall somewhere in the process of lapping by himself. And this here has been Faulkner towards the end of the race. Certainly not afraid to keep pushing. That's almost the wall twice there through the double apex. And does he get the wall almost there as well? That's about as close as I think you want to get. As we'll track Baldwin here to the end of the lap. He now has 2 turns left, Mr. Mez, and then we'll take a momentary pause before race 3 gets underway here.
Yep. I think someone might have to mention to Brady that 2-litre Touros aren't, bumper cars. You don't have to bounce them off the wall to go quick, but I'm sure he'll figure that out by the next one, and we'll keep it off the wall then. So we'll flick over to the results. Tyson Hanmar, 2.5-second win over Damon Mulqueen, so a fantastic drive there. Ben Faulkner, after not a very good start, will recover to P3, so gladly we'll take that one. Brady Baldwin will come home in 4th position. Simon Gorowski, unfortunately, caught up in those opening lap incidents and did not finish the race. And James Foster, again, a non-starter. Henry King, our safety car driver, and Lindsay Hobbs, again, started the first race, but did not return for the second.
So unfortunately, we're going to have only 4 starters for this race. As being told, this is what got the additional damage on Brady Baldwin's car. Lapping by himself. Oh, that's the concrete there, Mr. Baldwin. That doesn't help your car go faster, just in case you're wondering. I am aware that Brady, more familiar with going sideways on a dirt track. But yeah, concrete not so helpful to our road-going brethren here, at least. Well, with that all said and done, they're getting ready to jump back on the grid for our final race, and they will take their positions as they finished race number 2 here, Mez. So it'll be Hanmer and Mulqueen once again on the front row, with Faulkner and Baldwin behind them, and that will probably do it here, because with Gorowski and Faulkner, no sign from either of them, meaning that we will just have our 4 starters, unfortunately, for this here. So it will be an out-and-out sprint. It's actually Vermilion lining up on the left in formation, with Synergy on the right in formation as well. I guess indeed. It is now quite perfectly a team battle of 2 cars. Hopefully, neither of them decide that a sacrifice is needed.
Fingers crossed as we wait wait to go green in this one. Heading down, and away we go, and a good start. Faulkner's not gone anywhere again. Just has not got it off the line, but Hanmar's got a fantastic jump as well. And Mulqueen in behind, and Baldwin will be slotting in third. As they head down to turn 1. They tip it in for the first time for the final race tonight. Mulqueen very wide as they went into the turn. First time through the fountain. Hanmar with a little bit of a gap at the moment, but very early in this race they make their way up to turn 5, begin the first run down towards turn 6. So off to a good start for these three, but looks like this is going to be our battle for the lead in this race.
Yep. Ben Faulkner reporting a handbrake that he's got mapped to help with the starts in these cars. Not working, but that looks like it's stalled out, which would suggest, yeah, not using the clutch or anything, perhaps. So, either way, bit of mapping drums. There we go. Revs come up. Just we're going to switch back to live because, yeah, the what's happening here at the front of the field for live is definitely interesting here. Hanma trying to get a nice run into and through the hairpin here on that one, but Mulqueen says, well, you can go take the nasty curbs. I can do just about the same without having to resort to them as much. Baldwin shadowing in behind. Looks like he's not really got a dog in this fight just yet, at least. Just wait to see. If Hanma super defensive, maybe that'll bring that second sim racing car in, as Faulkner's gone to the pit lane, and I suspect we're now on a roll of losing one car per race, and we'll be down to 3 here in short order, which means that everyone that we want to see in this race is here now, but it means that this is it for us.
I'm a bit confused. I thought the name of the series was 2 Litre Tourist, not Hunger Games. So, yeah, losing them one by one. But either way, we're not going to lose this battle up front at the moment. Hanmar and Mulqueen have just been at it all night. Brady's pulling himself into this one as well. He's sticking with this group at the moment. I don't think he'll drop off. He's definitely got the pace to stick with them. But it might be a situation for Brady as Mulqueen has a look out. Is he going to go for a move? No, he won't. He'll slot back in behind. But Brady could be looking at this situation being, you know what, if something does happen in front, I might be able to snatch a win. And wouldn't that be interesting if we then had 3 wins from 3 races? As you can see, Mulqueen trying to get on the rear bumper. He's
on it.
On it now. Now, is he going to try and go to the inside? Is Tyson going to try and shut him down? Doesn't look like he's sitting in the middle of the road at the moment. Mulqueen is going to the outside. We've seen how good Mulqueen has been. We're trying to pass people around the outside, but what's going to happen? Hanmar's going to just edge out in front, and we'll hold that position for now. And we're getting a really good view from the top of Brady Baldwin's car at the moment. He's going to get right up on the rear bumper as well. So this top 3 pack battling hard at the moment. And yeah, he's just trying to, any opportunity he can to try and make the pass and go for the lead.
Well, if I was in Tyson Hanma's shoes, we saw in race 1 Mulqueen could outbrake him in a couple of spots, was able to drive away when he gets in front, so it would be imperative that if there's any chance of an issue for, well, not issue I should say, but any chance of an attack from Mulqueen, it needs to be defended aggressively. Bring Brady Baldwin into this one, keep him in this one for effect, as that there might have been a clip of the apex wall at turn 8 by the number 18 of Hanma, who we ride on board with now through turns 9 and 10. I think he might have got away with the glancing blows. They come into the hairpin here. You can see Hanma, he's going to try to go really wide, but he gets on the serrated curbs, and I think it's just killing his ability to rotate the car, destabilizing the front end and the rear, because it's both left side tires, and it's not helping him turn in. But what it is doing at the moment is completely compressing our top 3 here, Mez, and Mulqueen's got nowhere to go when he's on the exhaust pipe of the 18 at corner apex.
Yep, absolutely, and using all that inside curve. Brady was getting right up to the wall as well. So these 3 are going at it. They're not obviously, it's only 3 of us, so we can take it a bit easy. No, all 3 of them are throwing everything at it, plus the kitchen sink. And they're using all of that curve to try and range up on the rear bumper. Brady's going to be having a look at the back of Mulqueen at the moment. wonder if the team orders might be enacted to sort of say, hang on, stay behind, I want to have a crack at Hanmar at this case, but doesn't look like it. Brady is all over the back of him. But now we'll see as they come out of turn 8, and this is where they're closing up. Handmel Queen all the way out to the wall as well, using every bit of the track, but this seems to be where Tyson's weakness is. You just can't seem to get it off turn 8 that well, but now we'll run into 9, heading up towards the hairpin. We'll go through a quick replay. Oh, he's just brushed that wall ever so slightly. He's done a fantastic job to get away with that one. And again, as you're saying, Morse code on the rear bumper from Mulqueen. He just doesn't seem to get the car settled. Mulqueen's getting the car more rotated. He gets to the apex of the corner, which means he can get on the throttle a bit earlier. But as you're saying, the problem is because he's right up on the rear bumper, he can't go anywhere. Can't try and make a run down to turn 1. Is he going to try and flicker here? Does not look like he's going to sit behind again. So maybe this is all a plan from Hanmar. Just slow him up into the hairpin, check them all up, because if he does that, maybe Mulqueen can't get the move done down in turn 1.
I mean, yeah, if he can... I mean, Mulqueen's there the entire lap. And yeah, with the way that Hanmar is either under-driving turn 8 or taking too many risks, one of the two, or just can't quite get the rhythm there, because that's now a couple of laps where either, yeah, you saw that top-down replay from lap 3, brush the apex ball. Lap 4 just looked like he had no corner apex and exit speed compared to the 42 of Mulqueen. And then it just hurts his run down this part here towards turn 9. And once again, Mulqueen's there. Hanmar's not showing much of a defense this time. The inside is open. If Mulqueen gets here, this might be game over, but no, he won't get to the inside. And in fact, going up and over the curves like that as we go on board with the 42 and Mulqueen just drops him back a couple of car lengths. Although, this now means if Hanmar has a bad run through the heaven, Mulqueen finds the apex wall at turn 11, and now Baldwin all over his rear end.
Yep, this will be interesting to see. Mulqueen's going full defensive. Brady is going to have a go here. Has that damage. It doesn't look like Mulqueen's actually hanging onto that car at the moment. He might have actually damaged the front of that car. Hanmar punches in the fastest lap of the race as well. You can actually see Mulqueen is dropping back a bit. Doesn't look like there's a lot of damage on that car at the moment, but he's definitely dropping back a little bit. But yeah, just turned in that little bit too early. Just caught it inside curb. It didn't look like it was that big of a hit, but it's definitely having an effect now. This has allowed Tyson to have a gap out a little bit now. He'll have about 7/10. We'll go on board with Mulqueen at the moment, and right on that front tyre. Now, we'll have to have a look on board and see, has he actually got a bit of turn down at the moment, or is that thing pointing straight? That'd be interesting to see. Go back and have a little
is very slightly, I suspect, right hand down. We're only talking about 2 to 3 degrees, like single digit degrees, I'd say. I couldn't give you a number that precise, but single digits in terms of their degrees off center. But yeah, catching the tire like that, there is no way Mulqueen escaped with no damage from that one, at least in a perfect world. It says Baldwin will go a little wide, maybe even kiss the apex 2 there at turn 11 for his own troubles. So that checks up the number 7 and keeps Hanmar with they go 3/4 of a second at the line there as they then swing around the corner. And despite that, though, for Baldwin at the hairpin, what looked like it was a bit of a compromised run, he will still pull in nearly 2/10 on Hanmar ahead, as though he almost finds the concrete, never mind the tyres, on the exit of turn 1, but they all check up into the fountain once again. It's as if Hanmar's just taking his foot off the pedal here all of a second. There, 2/10 lost through the fountain.
Yeah, very odd. He had a lot of pace in race 2. We obviously saw that, but yeah, just not quite able to find that rhythm again. Maybe having a bit of pressure from the cars behind, but yeah, just not quite got that sorted. But now it's going to be helping a bit too, because now you're seeing Mulqueen start to get on the rear bumper of Brady Baldwin. As you can see, that little bit of, now we sort of mentioned that little bit of turn down that he's got at the moment. Now it won't be much, and it probably won't be affecting the pace all that much, but it gets into your head a little bit, just having that wheel not quite pointing straight. But I think we're about to see how close he was to the wall.
That was Hanmar exit of turn 1. there for reference. So that explains why he lost a quarter of a second. I'd say he too was pretty close to the concrete, let alone the tyres on the exit of turn 1. And look at them there, all compressing back up there. He's lost across the course of the entire lap, 3.5 tenths. The gap goes from 0.75 to 0.4, is just in behind Hammer. This was Brady Baldwin's run through turn 1. If that's not, that's technically perfection. And there you go, gains another 10th by the time we come from the start-finish line to the fountain here as we return to live pitches. I mean, Hammer, yes, he can sort of afford this. This is a 2 laps or so to breathe, relax. Maybe take the foot off the loud pedal, but what it's done is it's reinvigorated Brady Baldwin. We saw him have a go at Simon Gorowski lap after lap. Here we go, crossing over for turn 6, but he cannot get there. It will compromise his run through the corner, and Damon Mulqueen will slide up the outside on exit and take that spot away from him there. So, Hanmer from Mulqueen again, who just kisses the wall at the exit of 8. Baldwin third once more.
Yeah, these guys are just throwing it hard against the wall. I'm wondering if there is maybe a little bit of damage to Hanmar's car, because he just seems to have dropped right off now. Like the rate that Mulqueen and Brady caught up. Look at him using all that curve just to try and get the thing far over to the left-hand side. He actually had a decent run off that corner, and we can see on screen now, that's a solid rub on the wall. Won't do too much damage, but it's definitely not going to aid the bed steering that he's got at the moment. But yeah, Hanmar just has not been able to get this car to switch on at all. Mulqueen punches in the fastest lap of the race as well with a 27.1. So the pace is getting, we're getting more pace from the cars behind, but Hanmar just does not seem to be getting this car up and going. And now he's going to be back in that position again where he's having to try to defend and hold this position down. He's got 7.5 minutes to go in this race. And just looking at this, just visually, the pace difference we're seeing at the moment, this is going to be quite difficult to hold on to.
His best of the race is a 27.4, and that was set back on, I want you to get the number for you rather than start wondering. That was back on lap 5 when he took the lead, and we had Mulqueen and Baldwin unable to go scrapping with each other, basically. Since then, 27.62, 27.65, and 27.64. That tells me more than anything that kind of consistency, that screams to me someone who's managing pace. Now, maybe it's a fact that, these cars, they should get faster over time. The tyres just keep warming up, and we're not going long enough in these races that it should be a problem for tyre wear. But maybe Hanmer, something with the setup, is overworking the tyres, and he's just having to back it off as he goes defensive on the exit of turn 11, drops into a 27.5. Mulqueen, though, in behind, 27.4, and here comes the move towards turn 1. They're both narrow, and as a result, Mulqueen does not commit to the inside. Hanmer is able to get it pulled up, and it brings our 3 together again. Gap of 6 tenths at the line there. Update in a second. I'm going to look to see what this number is. No, it's back to about 8 tenths. Again, they stretch out technically on the timing tower, but compress in terms of distance. Once more, Tyson Hanmer managing the pace, it seems, and just enough for now, but he's going to have to start really letting loose here, I think. As you said, the pace differential potentially half a second. If Mulqueen lets loose and is able to let loose in the 42, that's going to be hard to respond. We saw it was enough in race 1 to get by, and it probably will be enough to get by again here unless he keeps brushing the walls like that there.
Everyone's brushing the wall, but especially between Hanmar and Mulqueen, they're using every little bit of that track. And yeah, we know for a fact that the car of Hanmar has a lot more pace. We saw in that last race, he was in the low 3s, the low 2s. So there is more pace in this car at the moment. The car, we're sort of looking at that, thinking to ourselves, like, he's using a lot of those curves, but the car has sort of stayed fairly consistent the whole way through. It's not like he's really fighting the car at all. It just does not have pace at the moment. So unless he's just backing it off a bit, trying to preserve those tyres for later on in the race. But the problem is allowing Mulqueen to have a look. He's going to go looking everywhere. He's going to flick again to the outside.
There we go!
Contact is into the wall, and that's a lot of damage to the back of the car for Mulqueen. Oh, what's going to happen here? they keep going. Brady's going to pop up into second place, but now we're going to wait and see what race control looks at that one. That's just not what we expected to see in this race. We thought it was going to go right down to the wire, but yeah, wow, that's just put this race all on its head.
It has now. Mulqueen's going to try and get it back to the pits. Doesn't slow down penalty for Tyson Hammer in the 18. Although Baldwin not able to really make the move, so Hammer's going to back off here through to a corner. He's going to have such a bad run. Well, I think a bad run, but Baldwin's not really closing here. As we come up towards turn 9, Hammer will hold on for another lap, but we're going to need to bring up a replay, I'm sure. But at this stage, we might need to save it, or either save it for a moment where somehow this race cools off, or we're just going to have to wait until the end of the race, because my timing says we've got 3 more laps of this here. This has been the race of 4 cars, which quickly became 3. And lo and behold, they've stuck close enough together that there's this motto I seem to have, and I say it from time to time again with these support categories races. We can have basically no cars, and we still get some energetic racing. Because Baldwin going to try and threaten something into turn 1, but he's about 3 car lengths back, Mez, and he won't be able to get up the inside of Hanma, as we are going to go to that replay here and now.
Yep, running down the front straight. So now we'll see McQueen duck out. Now he's been so good around the outside, so it was going to be a question of whether or not he could pull the move off again. Tyson's going to move up. Oh, I want to see a different angle of that one again if we can. I wonder if that's just going to be a little bit of 2 cars trying to command the same bit of space, and unfortunately one goes out the other side. Well, one goes out the other side, the other one doesn't. So you can see both of them sort of came together. Mulqueen tried to sort of start to take the corner. Hanma moving the car up so he could open up the apex a bit more, which I think that's what caught him out the first time around. We'll go back to another replay as they both run into the corner. Hanma moves up. Oh, that's going to be so hard to call. I, for one, am thankful I'm not in race control tonight, having to try a look at that one. And again, Brady Baldwin all over the back bumper. As we've got 2 minutes left to go in this race, we've got about 2 laps left to run. This battle for the lead's not over yet.
Oh, not even close. These two are going to go out. Mulqueen, for what it's worth, is still circulating. He's just and doesn't have a mechanical black flag, so he doesn't need to go to the pit lane. Is Baldwin supreme confidence on the brakes, but he's not able to force the issue into the fountain. But what it will do is surely put Hammer on notice now. This opening sector lap up over the curb there at what is counted as turn 4 there. And then you see both cars here aggressive through the curbs at 5. Got to watch out though for Hammer, because he's got to slow down already now in this race once. Thankfully it happened on the lap just after Mulqueen got tagged. I think Brady just backed off a fraction to make sure he didn't get tripped up in his own teammate once that the fireworks started there. But now these two nose to tail up through turn 8. You see here neither driver leaving much, if any, to spare from the exit of the corner. They don't find the wall this time by, and Hanma, stronger in that particular occasion, will pull out a car length here on the number 7 as we continue to ride on board. But that looked like a bit of rear end instability. Doesn't get the rear to the apex of turn 9 and then avoids the inside of 10. But again, it's all about opening up this second part of turn 10. And then the hairpin here, but he's deep, Mez. Going to be almost a drag race towards the line as Hammer will cross over and then thinks about crossing back to cover the inside as we're coming to the white flag here. Final time in the 2-litre tours at Long Beach.
Now, the draft is going to be very strong. There's about a 15-kilometre wind running down the front straight, so Brady's going to be looking for an opportunity. Hanma goes defensive. Brady tries to go around the outside, tries to replicate what Mulqueen did. He's going to get the nose in front. Just there. They're going to run side by side. There's a bit of rubbing there, and Brady Baldwin pops out the other side, but it's not over yet. Hanma having another look as they'll go into it. He's clopped the wall. That's going to lock Hanma back up the inside. Through side by side. They're rubbing on each other as they come out of the corner. They're running up to turn 6, and it looks like Brady Baldwin's just popped out the other side.
There we go. Half a lap left in this one. Little bit of contact. Checks up both the cars there through turn 6 as they approach turn 7. Coming up to basically 2 corners left, or 2 overtaking zones left in this circuit. Baldwin, strong enough, I think, through turn 8. He'll be safe to turn 9. And then it's just one complex of corners remaining here for the number 7 Synergy Sim Racing Hyundai Elantra. It looks like we're going to get ourselves the 3 from 3 we asked for. He does lock the rears through turn 9. The gap begins to close. Hanma tries for something through turn 10,
no.
but that will sign, seal, and deliver it here for Brady Baldwin in the Synergy Sim Racing number 7. He will walk away from this one, having sat in 3rd place for basically the entire race, Mez. Your race winner to round out the night and make it 3 from 3 for the 2-litre Tourers tonight.
Oh, that's a very, very broken rear of the car for Damon. But it'll be fine. He gets up to the line. He will finish 3. It's points in the bag to help his championship. And I'm sure he'll be over it pretty quick once he realizes there's probably some bacon in the fridge for him. So he'll be right. He'll bag the points and move on to the next round.
He will indeed. And yeah, the points really do favor finishing races over peaky results. So most certainly, whilst Brady Baldwin will chip away at Damon Mulqueen's lead in the championship overall, it will only be a handful of points. And don't forget, of course, races 1 and 2 will also be advantage Mulqueen there too. So that is your results. 4 starters, 3 finishes. Unfortunately, Ben Faulkner choosing not to commit to that one there, and maybe go in to support Tyson over some team airwaves there, both of them from Familiar Motorsport. Unfortunately, Simon Grosky lost him in race 2, and Lindsay Hobbs lost him in race 1 out of our 6 starters. James Foster, Henry King, not starting the race, although Henry King being in race control, the reason there. And with that, we're at the halfway mark of the evening. We'll take a short break here on SimSpeed TV. This has been the opening night of the V8SCOPS Support Series from Long Beach. The V8s are coming up next. But first, stay with us here, but take a quick moment to take a listen to these ads here from iRacing.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Lovely. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your coverage of the V8SCOPS Support Series from Long Beach. Night number 1 of what will be the final Endurance Cup weekend for V8SCOPS come Sunday, bringing us the 2-litre Tourers and V8 action. Touring cars at both ends of the drivetrain, and, well, having just wrapped up 2-litre Tourers action in his Hyundai Elantra NTC. We're joined by Damon Mulqueen here in the commentary booth once again, your pole sitter and race winner for race 1 at least here tonight, Damon. Once again delivering the strong 1-lap pace, but what happened there at the start of race 1? It looked like it was just beaten offline by Tyson Hammer. Was there anything more to it on your end?
I think Tyson may have just got a better start, but I've got a bit of a funny feeling that P2 grid position spot may have helped him a wee bit, because going from where I was sitting, I was pointed more towards a wall than anything else on the outside, so it may have been a wee bit to do with that, and having to have the car, the front wheels turn slightly to get off going without going straight towards the fence. So yeah, other than that, I think it may have just been a wee bit of both of the position and me pausing up the start.
That would make plenty of sense, given you're already trying to ask the car to get all of the power down through the front tyres, and they're stone cold on lap 1. So adding a bit of steering, I can imagine that probably means it starts to complain a tiny bit. You got there in the end, although Tyson's certainly putting up a firm defense for the first half of that race there. And then, of course, race 2, the full invert. Although for you guys there tonight, only had 5 at start of the race, but unfortunately getting tripped up with Simon Grosky and your own teammate Brady Baldwin there. Simon trying to hang on to his spots there. Just unfortunately, you guys came together a couple of times at the hairpin as you tried to make your way through there.
Yeah, I'm sticking my hand up for that one. I kind of forgot that you can't really go too wide through the hairpin there. This track, I don't run this track a lot to remember, and it wasn't until I went in, it was like, oh no, this is going to end badly. So that's fully on me. So I'm gonna, Simon, if you're watching, that's on me. Full apologies to you, mate. Sorry to ruin your night. But yeah, yes, Tyson also ran a great race. The whole event, which was amazing. It's impressive to see how far he's come. So full props to him, and cheers to the rest of the guys that came in race tonight, even if it was just for the first race.
And indeed, yeah, then come race 3, the fact that we unfortunately lost Ben Faulkner, so Mez here in the combat made a sort of a comment that we'd sort of gone from racing to, I guess, Hunger Games on wheels, as it were, is what it's kind of, perhaps you could say it looked like and felt like up here watching along. But I mean, yeah, yourself, Brady and Tyson all going at it there in race 3. Unfortunately, you were the one that came off worse there. Just contact trying to make that move that you got to work in race 1 around the outside of turn 1 stick. A couple of angles we saw, it was a bit hard to say, I think, from maybe looking directly on behind, a case of Tyson maybe just trying to open up his entry into the corner as you needed to start turning in. Was there any other perspective to it there from your cockpit in the moment?
As far as I know, is when it was happening, I'm pretty sure I was right up against that red line, because if we go one of those lines that are there's about 3 of them. But pretty sure if you end up going over that, even by a tiny fraction, you get smacked with a slowdown. So I don't know if that wasn't a if I was, actually right up on it, or if I was slightly angled, or if that line's slightly angled a wee bit. But I'm not sure how to view it. I could just go down to Racing Incident and stick to that and live with that. But we'll let race control sort that one out. And if it ends up being the racetrack, well, maybe the track designers should think about these things a little bit more. But the racing tonight by us while we kept it clean, I should say. It was some great racing out there tonight, and unfortunately there was a few incidents. And as I said, I already put my hand up for one of those because that was just stupid hour by me. So hopefully come Road America, it's not an overly difficult track. We're not surrounded by walls left, right, and centre, and all the concrete canyons as they put it. So hopefully we get a few more out for the final round and have a good send off for the season.
Yeah, indeed. I think looking at the points table real quick, I think that actually means that with your first, second, and third on raw positions versus Tyson's second, second, first, second, you'd end up tied on points for the night. But looking at one more round to go for you guys here in the 2-litre Tourers. We'll bring you back for Road America at the season finale of V8SCOPS for the year. A little while away, I think, maybe 4 weeks or thereabouts. Before we let you go, Damon, who do you want to thank for your results here tonight?
Honestly, just got to thank Chris and for giving us amazing cars all season. Great running under the banner for them again, doing them proud. Got to thank all of our sponsors: Parramatta, Isuzu, Watercraft Works, DGD Customs, DO Photo, DM Photography, and the others that are on there. We've got quite a few, so a big thanks to all of them that help us out, and also to you guys up here in the commentary booth and broadcasting and putting this all together, and all the team behind at OSR for throwing on these events.
Well, there we go. Damon Mulquin. It will be 5 weeks from today, plus a day, before the 2-litre Tourers return for that final round of 2-litre Tourers action and the final round of V8SCOPS 2023. But that'll have to do us talking to Damon. Thank you very much, and hopefully see you back out there sooner than that, because we might see you for Grand Tour beforehand.
Yes, quite possibly, depending on where we're going. Yeah, more than likely.
You might be lined up for Jerez, but don't quote me on that one there. But we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Cheers, fellas.
Well, that'll do us there for wrapping up the 2-litre Tourers, because whilst I've got the sound of V8 Thunder in my ear, Simon Zomo returning to the comments box after your short break. Take us through the track map here at Long Beach once again before we'll get into said 8-cylinder engined noises on track once more.
Yep, the big V8s are out there, and yes, we're sticking to Long Beach. As you can see, long front straight, shoreline drive down to turn 1 Toyota. We've already seen what it's like into there, that outside wall, proving to be a bit adventurous for a few people. Then we go turn 2, 3 across the fountain. Very much single lane traffic through there, but we did see a few attempts to try and make that too wide. The turns at 4 and 5. The run up, a very open exit to turn 5, so make sure you get the car very settled and get a good run off there. Turn 6, 7, running up Pine Avenue. Turn 8, you saw that as an opportunity. If you can nail that corner, it presents an opportunity when you get down to turn 9, Firestone turn. And obviously the run to the final couple of quarters, turn 10, and then that hairpin at turn 11. Now we obviously saw the TCR cars, the 2-litre Tourers having to go full lock to get the cars turned around that corner. It's going to be the same thing with these things as well. Big, heavy V8s, they don't like to turn at the best of time. Trying to get the car slowed and rotated through that corner, it's going to be quite difficult to do. And then, same thing, you've got about 600 horsepower trying to drive itself through the rear wheels on tyres that just do not want to stay alive. So this is going to be a tough one for these guys, but as we've already seen from the championship so far, they're all more than ready for the opportunity.
Indeed. Well, it was time certain for the 2-litre Tourers races here in the V8s tonight. 3 19-lap races coming our way, but it's the same format in that it will be reverse grid for all cars in race 2, progressive in race 3. As before we cut to the qualifying footage here, Mez, this is how the championship is standing, and fascinatingly, I don't have the points in front of me, but Aaron Gilbert not on top of the standings. It is Gavin Cox and Henry King who have apparently come out on top. Now, there is a drop round for the first time in Support Series action, which has been rolled out this year to allow a bit of a compromise for just bigger situations. But crucially, yeah, promoting the 555 middle finger racing machine. Gavin Cox certainly no slouch in these cars, but hasn't quite had the raw pace and consistency of Aaron Gilbert this season. In saying that, though, the numbers would indeed suggest having taken a drop round of not much more points or less points than Aaron Gilbert to come out on top here.
Yeah, definitely. We've sort of been used to that the last couple of seasons. I myself competed in this category for a couple of years, and yeah, usually it's just Aaron Gilbert leading the way, but no, Gavin Cox and Henry King not far behind as well. As you can see, quality underway at the moment, and that wall is Shane Bowen was in that incident there, so catching a few people already. You can see on screen as well that front right of that car is banged up as well, so they're already getting into the walls already in qualifying. So yeah, this might set things up for tonight, but yeah, in that championship picture, yeah, be only a few more rounds to go. It'll be interesting to see how it's going to go down to between Henry King and Gavin Cox. And we look at qualifying on screen at the moment. Gavin currently up into P3. Henry King P11 at the moment. So have to keep an eye on that one tonight.
Yeah, that will be curious, of course. We've seen in the two-wheeler tours that you really need a big pace advantage to make pass stick here. We have drivers who are out of order in that sense, or not quite on the money. That will be fascinating here tonight. We have ourselves currently, pardon me, I'm seeing about 11 or so times. Yeah, or is it 13? The magic number is. I'd bring up my timing if I could find it, and
13.
Yeah, 13 with the time so far, with an additional 6 in the session out there doing laps. So, unlike the small order that we ended up with for our two-liter twos, we've got 19 V8 drivers here tonight. At least one of them here, Danny Vassell, provisionally last on the timing charts at the moment because he's trying to set his first flying lap in the 97 for middle finger racing. Still rocking the retro-inspired Bathurst paints for several of these cars here tonight. I remarked off-air hindsight of when you do custom paint packs, if you don't keep a record of the old paints, we end up in this situation. So for those who've still got Bathurst paints on, I hope you still like them. If you want them changed back, you know where to find me on Discord, I guess, with the ticket system.
I was going to say, hopefully flick back to Daniel Stevens if we can, because that's immediately my personal favourite tonight. That came uninspired livery, obviously. My number in karting back in the day was 51, and very much inspired by the man who drove that car, Greg Murphy. So that thing, Dad Stevens does fantastic paint jobs. I love it when he does these replica jobs, but that just looks amazing on that car at the moment. So glad that's on track, and we're going to see actually Daniel finish his lap at the moment. Has not put a time in yet, but looks like he's on his first flyer. Some good split times so far. Gets it rounded out of the final corner, gets the power down. Again, it's going to be so hard to get the power off that corner. The rear just wants the next thing in the background. A car getting a bit sideways trying to get the power down. Daniel Stevens will be 119.2. He'll pop himself up into P4.
Yeah, that's a good lap from Dan Stevens. He's another driver who has been solid over one lap pace and on race runs too, but still 3/10 off Jamie Davis, who holds the fastest time in the session. Another driver yet to put a number on the wall. One of two left now here in qualifying is Tim Nicol, number 23, Quantum Pecky's racing entry here. Indeed, yeah, that's what they've slightly renamed themselves to. It used to be Quantum Pecky's Performance Racing. QPPR, bit of a mouthful here is the 57, Wayne Taylor. Now, having a bit of a moment there off the hairpin. Does get it gathered up before he finds the wall, thankfully. But that will put ends to any effort to try and get a run or finish a lap. As I've been told, yeah, Nicol going to fall short. And indeed, is a good couple of tenths shy of making it as Henry King. Still in his Bathurst machine, being told he's probably not going to make it. And yeah, we'll abort. I reckon there was half a chance of that number 2 machine making it, but it would have been right on the buzzer. As with that timer running out, heat session means we will cut straight to the grid here, Mez, for race number 1 of the V8s.
Yeah, and taking out pole position will be Jamie Davis with an 18.9. Aaron Gilbert will slot alongside in P2. Joe Mahoney will start out of P3 with Dan Stevens coming out of P4. Gavin Cox, championship leader, will be starting out of P5. Alongside will be Dean Alessi in the middle finger racing machine. Peter Pavlovic will come out of P7 in that Caterpillar-inspired Commodore. That'll be interesting for a few people. Shane Bowen alongside in the Green Eye Monster-inspired in P8. Lindsay Hobbs coming out of P9 with Danny Vassell out of P10.
P11 for this race is going to be Stephen Varga, the 868 Cindy Sim Racing driver, sharing row 6 with Wayne Taylor. Next of our MFR machines in the 57. Stead Miller, another one of our paints that's a Bathurst special from last time out in the 24s, and share that row with, again, another MFR car in the form of Colin Bruns, the 111 there in 14th. And then Henry King. That is a disaster of a qualifying run for him, I would have to say. We know he's got legs on him in a race situation, but he's going to have to be very careful to work his way forward from 15th. Sharing that row with Josh King, the second of our autosurf cars there in P16. Ben Henniker in the number 13 for Cobalt Racing, sharing that with his teammate Nick McMillan in the 88. And Nick McMillan, no qualifying time for him. That then leaves us with Anthony Green and Ben Christensen in safety cars, though I wonder if Anthony Green meant to jump in that car. I don't think so. Either way, Tim Nicol will be the final driver to take to the grid in a V8 machine. So 19 to start this one off, and I check and see Anthony Green's in race control, so no, never mind that. He is there to help out this evening. So 19 laps times 3. Let's get things underway here for the first of those occasions. As we're going to get the green from Barney there up on the flag stand, and we are go. And the V8 action gets underway here as they will negotiate the start here fairly cleanly. It seems up the front of the field it will be Aaron Gilbert with the whole shot. Gets away ahead of Jamie Davis, who's gone all the way back to P4 on the inside of Dean Alessi there. Even so, it's Gilbert from Joe Mahoney. Dan Stevens up to third. Your pole sitter is back in P4 for Jamie Davis. Then Alessi, Gavin Cox, Danny Vassell, Peter Pavlovich, Lindsay Hobbs, Stephen Varga. Your top 10 as they negotiate the fountain for the first time.
That is a fantastic. I was watching him funnel into the fountain thinking, oh, just give each other room to get through there, and they've all done a fantastic job. But Aaron Gilbert, fantastic bolt off the line, but Jamie Davis just did not get off the line. He got just initially just way too much wheel spin. It just did not want to go anywhere. We could see Dan Stevens already under attack from Jamie Davis, trying to recover back through the field. They'll head out of turn 8, heading up towards turn 9. Jamie in the drive, he's going to stick the nose out, go for a dive down the inside. Valvoline versus Kmart, and it looks like it's going to be going side by side, still trying to hold on to that spot. Looks like Daniel Stevens will keep out in front. A little bit of a tap on the rear bumper as they go through the corner, but just holding on for now. Jamie Davis will have to tuck back in behind and have another attempt later on, and then behind Gavin. Oh, sorry, this is Dean Alessi. Right behind him will be Gavin Cox, our championship leader.
There you go, working down to turn 1 for the second time. It's Speed Stevens in a little hot in the number 3. He just gets it pulled up before clipping the tyres, though. So no damage to the Mad As Designs, that Kmart Racing inspired paint job. And as I said, we then have this Valvoline Racing inspired paint job for the 92s. That's why Jamie Davis lost spots to Gilbert, Mahoney and Davis. Lights up the rear tyres briefly only, being the slight reprieve that he got for himself. Here is, car on the wall. That's Stead Miller in the 24, going slow down towards turn 6, and has scraped the left front off of the number 24 Excalibur Esports entry there. I'll have to try and pick up if that was at turn 5. You would think so. We'll wait and see as there's trouble for them. Joshua King, the 91, is around on the exit of turn 8 there in the second auto serve car.
Yeah, he's going around big time, trying to fire that thing up. We'll go back to a quick replay, and just bounced off that inside curb. Those jagged curves do throw the cars around a little bit if you don't sort of get enough over it, and that's all that happened there. But now we'll have a look through, and a little bit too much on the throttle. Let's just nose the car in there. Doesn't look like it's done too much damage to the front of it. There will be a little bit of air, actually taking the whole front bumper off it.
Stevens again.
And Stevens into the wall again.
Jamie Davis will take full advantage and needs no further introduction. And now you've got middle finger cars stacking up. That's 4 MFR cars stacking up behind Dan Stevens as they all get caught up in the fountain, compromised. And now trying to sort themselves out here as they try and get back to racing speed. This is how he did it, second time, but he got the tyres this time on the exit of turn 1, Mez. Davis close enough behind that he only just got around to the left-hand side to clear the number 3 before the fountain. But thankfully the MFR quartet that's here in behind Stevens able to straighten things out. And now actually to go and check out how Josh King ended up in his moment of strife on the last lap as well. I feel like, and it looks like unfortunately self-inflicted is the answer you're looking for. Yep, very much self-inflicted for 91 if we ever do go and have a replay of that one there. Meantime though, staying here with the MFR cars in behind Jamie Davis, so Dan Stevens, Dean Lessie, Gavin Cox and Danny Vassell, all of them part of the same crew. And then Peter Pavlovich in what would normally be a nice white and blue paint scheme for Pacific second word Coast Esports. Apologies for completely forgetting the team name. Which is a bit of a solid move right there, more like a slap in the face for screwing that one up.
Doing well, mate, doing well.
Pacific Esports Racing, that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you, Jay. There you go, bring it up on screen now. Having a complete brain fart moment here in the box. As we'll check in though with the man in second place. There's a race leader behind that A pillar because timing tower tells me he's only 6/10 ahead. Is Aaron Gill? There we go. As we'll look forward from there, and then look back from our race leader for the other perspective of things here at the front of the field.
Joe Mahoney doing a very good job at the moment to stick in the rear of Aaron Gilbert, and can't help but look sort of championship-wise, looking for where Henry King is. He's come up to 12th spot, so he's been able to make his way through the field. But then, you do have Gavin Cox sitting in P5 at the moment, so doing a really, really good job. He's going to be tucked up behind his teammate. He's going to be a couple of seconds back behind Dan Stevens. So, but interesting that we saw that. Dan Stevens made that same mistake 2 laps in a row, and when we actually did look at that replay for a second, we could sort of see that the brake lights were flicking on and off. So it's got me half thinking like maybe the car was just grabbing brakes a little bit, maybe grabbing fronts a little bit too much into the corner. He was trying to get off pedal to try and get off it, but we're going on board with Gavin Cox, and that is a big lock up there. I'd love to know how he's actually made the apex there. And they'll go for the run down the back straight, heading towards turn 9. Gavin straight under brakes, no real argument from the teammate, and moves up into P5.
He does indeed. Let's go back to the live pictures once again. And eyes on the top 2 who broke away from all the chaos behind. Jamie Davis not being able to make inroads on these guys, so looks like it's going to be up to Joe Mahoney to change things there for our V8s drive, or this lead of the V8s, and if anyone else is going to somehow be able to pitch in to that one there, as they build up speed down the front stretch once again. So you can see now the 2 retro middle finger designs, then one of the regulars, and then another one of the retro paints here in Danny Vassell. Is officially for this series the Team MFR car. Due to the way we have these all named. And then, Pavlovich for Pacific Esports Racing. Lindsay Hobbs, and then just in front of Henry King. Was that one of the Cobalt cars? It was. Shane Bowen locking up and finding the tyres, although very lightly, I think, at turn 1. King up 3 spots from 15th to 12th is some progress, but not a huge amount all the same. We are on lap 6 as we'll see here this lock from Bowen. Yep, inside front unloads as the car rolls out slightly. See how it does. I'm just told he actually missed the tyres by Oliver B's dick.
Okay.
And I've broken Simon's own. Apologies for that one, folks. Apparently, what I thought was a somewhat typical phrase is apparently a select choice of words that has broken in. Well, maybe in a second. I also broke the producer, so I'm on a roll here, 2 for 2 in the box. So, me, I guess.
That's one of those words where you're like, you know what? Think that word, don't say that word.
It's 9 o'clock on a Friday night. I'm sure I'm allowed to make this commentary PG.
Oh, man. Alright, cool. Alright, we've had that happen, folks. We'll try and get back onto the racing. No more dick jokes. As we're looking at the number 27, I believe that is the Hobbs. I was getting there, calm down. And yeah, his little battle pack at the moment, just fighting just inside the top 10. Peter Pavlovic up in front, and the holding on of Colin Bruns. That car is not moving at the moment, and there's a call. I wonder if that's a call for a tow.
We'll find out. Is it turn 1? For what it's worth. How has this happened? Has it gone poof? Oh, no, rears have locked. Rears have locked. Uh-oh. And he's broadsides the tyre bundles. And yeah, he's not going anywhere. As the safety car will scramble, the leaders are in the hairpin. And we go to our first yellows of the night here at Long Beach. So, Jamie Davis is going to get that second chance to have a crack at the leaders, and so will everyone in behind him. Here, as Aaron Gilbert will make his way down to turn 1, and Anthony Green's been sent out in the 308, which should be a Pagnini Import safety car there. Well, yeah, but he will pick up the field nevertheless, and so we'll take a brief pause in the racing action here. Look at that, Nick McMillan and Shane Bowen, two of the Cobalt racing cars, dive to the pit lane here, and they're joined by Ben Henniker as well. Now this makes some sense. They were towards the back though. Now I thought they were in battle packs and they would have lost some time by doing this. But we're almost at the halfway mark, Mez. Maybe some value here in changing the tyres.
If you're down the back of the field, I would 100% be making that choice. I'd do the same thing if I was in that situation. You're down the back of the field, you're not really going to gain anything by staying out. Pit in, pick some tyres, repair any damage. We'll quickly check to see if they've got fast repairs. No limit on fast repairs. So unlimited as well. So yeah, 100%. Get in there, new tyres, fix the car up. It's going to put you in a much better position to come through the field because effectively you're going to be starting there regardless. So you might as well give yourself a fresh set of tyres to have a go with.
Well, in Nick McMillan's case, he was 13th, and he's come out somewhere, well, he's come out in 15th, so that's pretty much a free stop. Shane Bowen behind was 11th and has come out 16th, so a bit more time lost for the number 7 machine there. So I guess putting all of that in perspective of sorts, I guess. As we'll watch these cars here circulate around, they'll pick up the front of the field. Safety car Q is going into turn 9 now, as the leaders are being taken on the front straight once again, and they all have to park it up in the hairpin here, it seems.
Yeah.
So yeah. Gonna have another lap here under safety car, but then we should get going green at the start of lap 10 at least.
Josh King making a bolt for the pit lane as well, so obviously seeing a few cars around make their way in, so I figured why not do the same. And yeah, you can see, yeah, Colin has officially towed, so see, when we go, we should be going back to green this time by, I would say. And yeah, interesting to see how this one goes. When we sort of saw towards before the safety car that Joe Mahoney was able to sort of close up on the rear bumper, looked as though it was going to start to be able to tussle a little bit with Aaron Gilbert. So it'll be interesting to see what they do when they get back to green. But this is going to work out perfect for Jamie Davis. Obviously, that start didn't go too well for him, but it sort of put him right on the rear bump and give him an opportunity to get back into this battle. So if there's any pace left in that car, definitely be able to use it now. So probably for Aaron, probably not what he'd want. You'd want to keep the race going green so he can keep pushing that margin. But yeah, I think out of the cars we've got at the front here, it's really going to be that top three that have the pace at the moment. So that'll be where that lead battle will probably happen.
Yeah, that would probably be the case. We're going to wait and see, though. Yeah, if anyone can be a bit of a spoiler in this one, as the safety car is about to pull away from the field. Ben Christensen giving the order whilst he's behind the wheel. Oh, sorry, no, my bad. Ben Christensen's in race control. Got Anthony Green out there on circuit now. So we are now effectively in the hands of Aaron Gilbert there at the front of the field. They're waiting for the safety car to make it back to the lane. And then we'll see when he chooses to go. The hairpin, of course, being this sort of stopper in the order, or the track flow, I should say, more than anything. Probably be the prime time to go, as he's given control as he enters the hairpin as Aaron Gilbert. But he doesn't go straight away. He's going to hold them here on the front straight. Mahoney's got to get to his gearbox, and in fact, they're all. Davis is practically pushing the 36 up to the back of the number one, telling him, "Come on, go, 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 go!" Because there's the foot down from Aaron Gilbert, almost at the start-finish line. We restart this race with 10 to go on the board here at Long Beach for the first race of 3 in the V8s.
Yeah, a bit surprising, didn't go straight after the corner, because that's generally where you'd sort of make the gap, but he's still done a good job, got a good getaway. It probably also helped as well, back the other cars up behind the guy in second and third, and we get around already. Yeah. Trying to pick up who that was. Nick McMillan going around.
Fire advantage for him.
Yeah, very much so. Goodbye to that one. So, but yeah, it'd be, I said, we're trying to sort of back the field up for first and second and third, try and take a bit of pressure off Aaron. But for the moment, looks like they're all going to stay together. We'll go a quick replay and see what's happened here.
Bit of a lunge. A bit of a lunge attempt by the looks of things there at turn one. Thankfully, avoids contact with anyone else, but in the process, ends up 90 degrees to the normal racing line and exit there. So no dice for him. As back at the front of the field, Joe Mahoney given a second chance to go on the attack against Aaron Gilbert. Jamie Davis is trying to stick with, but he's dragging Dan Stevens and Gavin Cox along for the ride as well. The top 5 there. Team Jing Shifters, ICT Marketing Race on Oz, Auto Serve, and then Middle Finger Racing ×2 as they come up to turn 1 once more at full tilt into turn and then into the fountain right here. Up 11 of 19 already here despite this safety car, and curious to see who's got the legs underneath them, who's going to look to go a little on this. Who is super close to the wall there?
That was Joe Mahoney that got very sideways off, and then it grabs the inside tyre as well. So this is opening up a bit of opportunity for Jamie Davis. Just closing up on the rear bumper a bit. You start to see a little bit of pace coming out from Joe there, but wait and see. It's given Aaron Gilbert a little bit of breathing room as well, which you'd be liking to see that in the mirror. So we'll go to a quick replay and you can see, oh, they got that thing right out sideways, and you can see Dan Stevens in the background run right up to the wall as well. So this is checking them up quite a bit here. You can see Jamie Davis is right on that rear bumper at the moment as they head down the front straight. So this is starting to become a little bit of a battle for second at the moment. Aaron Gilbert starting to check over into the distance. He's got a second on them right now as they head hard into turn 1. You can see Jamie just ranging up on the rear bumper a little bit, but he's going to have to get a lot closer than that if he wants to have an opportunity to take second place.
Yeah, he will need it, and going to really want it, because Gilbert's starting to check out a little bit from Mahoney once again there at the front of the field. And if Davis has got anything to go with the number one, got to show it now. Just before that gap gets too big, and then any advantage that you have on pace is probably going to be burned up by using your tyres to hunt him down before you get there, and then you can't do anything with pace advantage because it's probably all gone by that point. As Stead Miller, trouble again, exit the fountain this time, but I think you're still carrying. Actually, no, did Stead Miller come to the pit lane under that safety car? Being told no, he did not. So still carrying his war wounds from earlier, but looks like he's done this one. Oh, it's in a bit hot. And yeah, all by himself.
Yeah. Now, is there going to be a secondary contact here at all? Doesn't look like it, but yeah. Yeah, probably just stalled a little bit there, but you see a bit further down the field the battles are still occurring. You see Henry King, Lindsay Hobbs on screen at the moment. So Henry King in P11, so he really has struggled to come through the field at the moment. You would have thought he'd be sort of back into the top 10 by now, but yeah, whether it maybe the track just hasn't got enough passing opportunities. And well, that's not really how you try to pass them, getting on the rear bumper, but reset and go again and sideways out of turn 4 as well. So Henry's really throwing this thing. He's 3 quarters in a row. He's just had that thing sideways. So really using up those rear tyres. And it's just allowing Lindsay to sort of skip away into the distance a little bit. Tim Nicol in the background, we're having a look at that, thinking there's an opportunity there as well. But we'll go quickly on board. You can see over the curve, trying to get the power down in the rear, just slide to just look at the gap in front. Just car in front just starts to skip away. It's so important to keep the rear of these cars stable and try and get the drive off the corner, because yeah, as soon as you get a little bit sideways, the car in front of you will just start disappearing into the distance.
And of course, when a car breaks away from you, well, it's just more time you would try and find out on track, unless they make a mistake of their own to even things up, as it were. There is our top 5 head round turn 1 and head towards the fountain 2 and 3, but the stage is quickly becoming a case of the top 4, I'd say, Mez. Cox not really able to go with teammate Dan Stevens, so is about half a dozen car lengths back in that 555. Still hasn't been fully dropped per se though, as they're stacking back up behind the race leader Aaron Gilbert. Where has he lost all this time? Is Joshua King trouble for him at turn 1? That's going to be a solid slap with the tyres.
Yeah, I was just sort of thinking that as well. Dan Stevens, I'll be honest, I didn't think just because of the pace we saw in the initial part of this race, wasn't sure if he'd stick with the front, but he's genuinely sticking with this front group at the moment, and he is towing Gavin Cox along as well. You can see he's just hanging off the rear guard, so he's got a bit of a gap behind, but 100% that draft that he's giving to Gavin Cox is definitely helping, pulling him along. So this is a really, really good effort. So that qualifying pace that we saw from Dan Stevens was not sort of a flash in the pan sort of thing. There's definitely some pace under those MFR cars at the moment, and that's going to be doing a good job of just dragging him along there. We can see cars sideways. That's going to be Henry King trying to go around the outside. What's going to happen here? A little bit of door-to-door, and wow, that's actually incredible. 2 cars around the outside at the final hairpin. You definitely don't see that every day.
That's a rarity. That's a rarity for sure. Back to live pitches and looking once again at your top 5 again. Sorry, because Gavin Cox is being allowed to catch back up. But again on this lap, Mahoney drops time to Gilbert. Davis tucked up in behind, and then our middle finger cars keeping everyone sort of in viewing distance. At the same time, they're all dropping Dean Alessi behind by a couple of tenths further still. So these are the drivers in contention here. Although whether Stevens and Cox, the likes of them, have got something left that we haven't seen yet tonight to make things a little exciting. We'll see. Lindsay Hobbs, watch for him there in the 27. That's the apex wall of turn 8. That's going to be the right rear, catching it a bit more than the right front. Although the panel rips itself off the guard there at the front corner of the car. Looks to be carrying on all right though, Mez. We turn our eyes back to our top 5 here as they work their way through the fountain once more.
Yeah, this pack really has just closed up quite a bit. So Aaron not able to skip away this time, but yeah, Jamie Davis really starting to sort of apply the pressure a little bit as well. And then you got Dan Stevens as well. Dan's really closed up on this one too. So this little battle for second, third, fourth is definitely firing up a little. We're going to have about 3 laps to go once they get to the start-finish line. But it'll be interesting to see if there's anything left in the tank. Obviously, none of these drivers pitted when we had that safety car. They're all still using the tyres that we started with. So have they got anything left to throw at them? Dan Stevens at the moment seems to be the strongest out of all of them. Oh, Davis just grabbed the wall. Going to keep the thing pointed straight, but that allows Dan Stevens on the inside as they begin to run down the front straight. They're side by side. Oh, Dan Stevens needs to get a bit further across, try and get the side draft, because you can see Jamie Davis starting to peel a little bit in front. They're going to go side by side into turn 1, but it looks like Jamie Davis is going to hold that position for now.
And that there was sort of the best case example of 2 cars with an even-ish run off the hairpin, because while Dan Stevens so caught in behind Davis, yeah, just bogged in second, I'd suspect there. He doesn't get away so well. And then, yeah, just you watch here, Davis will cut to the wall and just, yeah, shaves off maybe 4, 5, 6 meters in corner radius. And that's enough to pull ahead by virtue of taking the shortest line through the shortest line on the track, and just enough to be able to swing around the outside there of turn 1. And Stevens, respecting the space taken, won't cause the issue. As more troubles for Lindsay Hobbs on his own at the end of the lap, just before we cut to that replay there. That's getting loose through 10. And it's going to find the wall. Was it? No, it's going to park up.
If of all spots you could park, that's actually quite a good spot, because no one's really going to come and cut that corner. You're trying to fire the thing back up again. It'd be nice if we had auto start. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But anyway, that's what we have. And yeah, managing to fire it up and get going again. But now we're seeing this little battle between the teammates. Gavin Cox is going to go up the inside, but he's going to punch the fronts and not able to get there. So Dan Stevens will pop back out the other side. I almost looked at that and thought for a second, well, that's probably just them switching positions. Maybe Gavin had a little bit more pace in the car, but no, that was yeah, just not quite able to get the job done. And
Nick McMillan.
That's how you do a burnout, yes.
Unfortunately, he's already gone around once in this race after taking fresh tyres, and he's gone around again. Well, a fair bit later, mind you, so it won't really have hurt him too much. As we check in with your leaders, I can just say also, meanwhile, Stephen Vargas, small mistake by himself at turn 6, has made himself a little vulnerable to Henry King in a fight for what is currently 9th place. But we'll keep our eyes here for the lead, I think, while we can. So I've also got my eyes on King, but the white flag this time by for Aaron Gilbert, and try and convert things as there's been all the contact at turn 9 further on back. But Jamie Davis is also just Dan Stevens, Gavin Cox still going at it. This is this fight here, just at the back end of the top 10 here for King. Trying to get P9 off Varga, and Tim Nicol behind 23 also for position. They too will now take the white flag here for race 1 at Long Beach.
Oh, Tim Nicol actually tagged the wall as well. He went very, very, very deep into the final corner and grabbed the wall on the way back. But yeah, you can see still trying to grab their way through the field. Stephen Varga in front. So Henry King just trying to minimise the deficit at the moment, because Gavin Cox has actually managed to get past Dan Stevens. He's up into P4 at the moment. So this is that famous word, championship implications, going on here at the moment. So this is the points that Henry's losing. But at the moment, Aaron Gilbert, this is what he needs to do. He needs to close that gap up to the 2 guys in front of the championship. Now he's going to have Joe Mahoney on the rear bumper, but I don't think it's going to be close enough for a passing opportunity. So started off second, but got to the lead and has pretty much commanded this race the entire time. He's going to get a slow run off the corner, but Mahoney won't be able to get much of a run. Aaron Gilbert will get it to the line and take out race 1 for tonight's V8 Racing.
Indeed, 1 of 3. Jamie Davis will finish off the podium, unfortunately for him, fading towards the end, unable to capitalise there. Cox and Stevens for the top 5, and Henry King there in that number 2 Team Jinx Shifters Holden Racing Team paint to round out the top 10. Our final finisher, it looks like, will be Stead Miller in the number 24 for Excalibur Esports, but whilst he comes up to the line, we'll be waiting on that for. In fact, we can show most of the results here. Just noting that the last couple of times might not be quite correct, but alas, I should say, half a second for Aaron Gilbert over Joe Mahoney there for the race win. Jamie Davis fades to 4.5 seconds back there. Mez Gavin Cox in behind him, only about 9/10 off, so maybe chance there for the 555 in a different world. Dan Stevens behind him in P6, about a second and a third there. Dean Alessi for 7th, ahead of Peter Pavlovich, Danny Vassell, Stephen Varga, and Henry King to round out the top 10. And then our second half of the field happened there to be Tim Nicol, Shane Bowen, Wayne Taylor, Josh King, Ben Henniker, Nick McMillan, Stead Miller, your final finisher on the lead lap. And in fact, the final finisher flat out. Lindsay Hobbs retiring 2 laps short, and Colin Bruns retiring and towing their 12 laps shy. So we invert the field for this race, so we're going to jump all the way forward to what will be the third grid slot for Colin Bruns to take his first spot. But from there, it is a full field invert, and we have got about 10 seconds before we take to the green. And just been reported over the radio, we got a compulsory pit stop coming our way that we weren't quite expecting in this one here, Mez. So we will have some pit strategy to worry about, and it looks like we might have had a couple of cars. Lindsay Hobbs, Stead Miller, they've missed the grid for this one here, which means it's going to be Bruns out ahead by himself as they take the green for race 2 of V8s. And it's already another 3-wide action here as they work their way down towards turn 1. And it's going to be Nick McMillan with the superior run from a little further on back. He will take the lead to turn 1.
Yeah, everyone tries to file into turn 1. They got through there cleanly the first time. Can they do it again? They run into the fountain section, and I've jinxed that. One car is around, Varga's around. Everyone's going to have to sort of fan out a little bit, so you'll keep that car following and we'll keep it going. But yeah, unfortunately, I have given it the commentator's curse and fortunately gone around, but everyone was able to make it through there with very little damage. And yeah, Nick McMillan out front at the moment, Colin Bruns in second, Josh King in third. He rubs the wall through turn 8, so this might open up an opportunity for Shane Bowen heading up to turn 9.
Let's see here what comes of it. As yeah, these guys here, having had a rough start of it in race 1, now get some freedom here at the front of the field. These full inverts making an interesting night of things here, as you see Davis ahead of Dan Stevens already there. Aaron Gilbert still languishing towards the rear of this group as all this smoke at the hairpin car around. Shane Bowen on the inside of the turn. He's thankfully off the line so everyone can get on through, but that's not the sight you want to see when you're driving anywhere. You actually use pit entry to back it up with a 3-point turn rather than roasting the rear rubber off that car. Meanwhile, towards the front of the field, Stevens eyeing off Henry King. Actually, that there, yeah, for 6th place already. And then just in here, that is Jamie Davis getting by Ben Henniker with Gavin Cox looking for a spot next in the 555.
Yeah, looks like he'll get that done. We're going to go look for a quick replay heading into turn 1. A little bit wide, and oh, I tell you what, done a good job to get that move done as well. So Jamie Davis charging through the field. You can see on screen Aaron Gilbert, who's, yeah, just struggled, maybe caught up in that opening lap sort of incident, but now we can see Ben Henniker getting attacked from Dean Alessi, who will make 3 wide. Oh, there's been a bit of contact there. That was the 90. I think
One.
that was 91.
Yep, that was for
Josh King. Yep.
that was for third place. All of that. Now
Oh,
pit winner
man.
also opens this lap, and it'll be Josh King, first car to dive into the lane to get his tyre change out of the way. Aaron Gilbert from the back of the field still will follow through as well and tick this compulsory pit stop off as soon as he can here in race 2. Everyone else will head out to start lap 3. Pardon me, Stephen Varga will join them in. Davis finds the wall, turn 1.
Oh.
Tyres, thankfully not concrete, but still.
Yeah, it still ripped the front off the car though. So have a look at replay. So there's the 92. We're gonna watch him head through turn 10, and that's a big dive. And wow, that was well executed by both drivers. Got the car up the inside, but Jamie Davis was smart enough. Was well aware of it, and managed to get the switch back and got the pass back. But now we're gonna wait and see. So we obviously saw the contacts. They head up into turn 1, hard on the brakes, and all well wide of the apex. Is it going to be? Oh, that's. Oh, it doesn't look like a big hit, but we've already seen it already. It doesn't take a big hit to really do some damage to these cars. So we'll wait and see. Obviously doesn't have a meatball at the moment, but we'll see how much that will affect his race pace. And we can see a few cars more heading off into pit lane.
Oh,
and
Davis.
that's Davis.
He's made a meal of pit entry, unfortunately, the number 92. Oh, and it's crabbing. I mean, there is a fast repair he will take his hands on, but he's the first car on the mechanical black flag in race 2. How has he done that?
Man, that's some extreme damage.
Oh, so oh no, he's clipped the inside wall. Now, he would have been up behind. It was Wayne Taylor ahead of him in the 57. And in his eagerness, it looks like just doesn't make sure he's safe as he put the hammer down on pit entry.
That would accurately explain why it was crabbing so much. That rear tyre just grabbed the wall and probably ripped the axle out of it. So, but on screen at the moment, Henry King. So this is this battle, I believe, for second, third, and fourth. Third place we're going for at the moment. Be Tim Nicol in front with Henry King, and we've actually got another car. Oh, we've got multiple cars checked up at turn 1. I believe we've got one car that's not going anywhere at the moment.
Turn 1 clear.
Turn 1 clear. Sorry, we just
have had a bunch of possibly a moment for Josh King out on the track along with Wayne Taylor. So the 91 and 57 might have gotten together, which caused, and there you can see 50. There you go. So real quick, here's Davis. Yeah. In his enthusiasm, gets it with the front left, and then the rear left for good measure. Says, "I'll have a piece of that too." While I'm at it, I've just seen Joe Mahoney pull off a rather impressive lunge up the inside tech spot off of Peter Pavlovich. Let me go find what's happened with Wayne Taylor, the 7, and Josh King, the 91, because Director J. Kenny. Oh, that's not great. Yeah, you're going to enjoy this mess. Wayne Taylor out of the pits. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Josh King decides to slide it on in there to turn 1 and unfortunately parks it in the wall and Jamie Davis in behind. Bit of an unexpected pit exit.
Yeah, he'd be coming out of pit lane and be like, oh, there's a track in front of me, and oh no, there's a car in front of me and I can't go anywhere. So yeah, just obviously saw the car coming out of pit lane and probably just tried to slow it up a little bit more, caught the rears, and just did not work out well at all. But so we're still looking at this battle for third at the moment. You can see a lot of damage to the front of Henry King's car at the moment, so that's not going to be helping the error at all. And you can sort of see down the front straight, not really able to close up at all to Tim Nicol. And just circulating at the moment. Interesting to see of those that have pitted at the moment. So Gavin Cox has actually hit the lane as well. So they'll be getting the pit stop done. But Daniel Stevens seems to be at the moment, of the drivers that have pitted, looks to be your effective leader. And see, there was a big scrape on the wall there as well. So Daniel Stevens doing everything he needs to at the moment. And you can see there's Aaron Gilbert behind as well, has also pitted. Got the pit stop over and done with. This group, I believe, as well, also pitted as well. This is Gavin Cox as well, coming out of pit lane. Daniel Stevens will move through as well. So interesting to see, where will Gavin Cox come out? And it looks like he's going to come out in front of his teammates as well. Critically, will come out in front of Aaron Gilbert. No, Aaron Gilbert will slide through. It will hold that position, but now he's going to have Aaron Gilbert right on his rear bumper.
All right. The defending series champion, and in fact, if I get this right, undefeated across all of the seasons we've had the V8s running as a support series here for V8SCOPS. Tim Nicol, in the meantime, will head for the pit lane in the Quantum Peckies Racing 23. Gavin Cox apparently out ahead on points. This after a drop round has been taken into account, and yeah, I think part of that being, I'm actually really curious, just thinking championship wise, because these guys here after tonight, they will be featuring at round 10, or they'll have a 10th round, I should say, of their season, which will be the next round of V8SCOPS. For the longest time, that had been a to-be-confirmed track, but that is now Jerez, as Wayne Taylor on the backstroke between turns 8 and 9. The 57 is parked up.
Well, thinking this will be a safety car if he can't get that going. Parked in a very peculiar spot. We'll wait and see. Haven't heard anything as yet, so the racing continues. But I would almost expect to see a safety car at the moment. Those that have actually recently pitted, this is perfect for them. And see the 1111, Colin Bruns makes his way to pit lane. You can see just behind as well, Joe Mahoney also getting into pit lane as well. And there it is, there's the call. Safety car has been called. Everyone that has pitted, this is worked out perfect for them. This group here especially, get this pit stop done and get out, because this sets it up perfect for them.
I mean, there is the thing that, of course, with safety cars, you don't lose time. I was going to see here, now damage already sustained for Wayne Taylor, and I would expect the engine to go poof here. Oh, yep, big pop there.
Ooh.
Into turn 8, and that car did not have any forward momentum left in it whatsoever. So Dan Stevens is going to move himself forward to, there you go, 4th place.
That's this lap.
That's the fast. Again, this is the thing. Dan Stevens wondering if he's the leader. No, the answer is he's not the leader. That's Nick McMillan. Is the other side of the circuit. He's the leader of the race, and he's going to dive in here. So Dan Stevens actually needs to get a hustle on, because he's not the leader. He needs to push.
Yeah, that's it.
He needs to not lose any time to the guys who have been able to stay out here. And yeah, he actually went slow through the fountain and afterwards, because he was unsure if he was the leader or anything like that. The answer was definitely not. You've got to now make sure you don't try and lose too much, because look at this here. Stevens, Nicol, Bruns, Gavin Cox, Gilbert, Mahoney. All these cars taking their pit stops at previous points in the race, and now they're all stacked up behind the number 3.
Yeah, well, I feel like Daniel may have handed this one over. So Danny Vassell, Henry King, and Nick McMillan. Nick McMillan's led this race from the start. You have to wait and see where he is.
McMillan's easy out. He's almost off the limiter in a second.
Yep, he'll get off the limiter. Yep. So it'd be interesting to see if Daniel Stevens would have been close enough to them.
I don't think, not for McMillan, I don't think, and maybe Henry King, who's just coming out now. They're going to get Danny Vassell in the 97 at least. So there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, that little balk that he did, that's a massive amount of time he's cost himself. That was easily probably a P2 there at least. And just by getting caught out by the safety car there.
The timing in safety car release wasn't ideal. The leader had gone past the pit lane when it was called, and realistically, maybe there was only about 10 seconds where the safety car could have been called sooner per se to get out ahead of the drivers. Alas, it is what it is. in many respects there. So we'll watch here as the drivers will now be under the control of Anthony Green, who's piloting the safety car tonight. And now these guys will be given this breather. So with 57 and Wayne Taylor cleared the toe here in a second, that will mean that we will probably be, or not probably, we will be going green at the end of lap 10. So it will be a 9-lap sprint for race 2 here. So not too dissimilar to race 1. We just now have the addition of fresh tyres in amongst the pigeons here to mix things up.
Yeah, this is going to work out really, really well for Nick McMillan. He's going to have clean track, he's going to have fresh tyres, would have got any damage that he may have had on the car, would have got repaired thanks to that fast repair. So this is lining up perfect for him, and this is also helpful for Henry King as well. Obviously did not have a great first race, qualifying didn't work out too well, couldn't quite get himself through the field. Now he's sitting himself in P2. Gavin Cox just sitting about 3 spots behind as well. Sorry, I was right the first time, 4 spots. So this will be interesting to see. Help Henry try and claw back some of the points that he's lost in that first race. But yeah, looking good for the moment for Nick. Had really, really good pace. And yeah, in a good position once we go back to green flags.
Yeah, the curious thing is, yeah, he's got Henry King on the same strategy. I would think King should have a pace advantage over McMillan from what we've seen across the season in general. So that might be enough for King to get on through. And then you got Dan Stevens, yeah. His tyres aren't that much older. Unfortunately, I've been opening and closing my timing, so I don't have all the right stint length numbers.
5.5 laps for Daniel Stevens, so he's about 4 laps older tyres.
Well, there you go. All right. Oh yeah, no, you know, I'm a goose. I've got stint length info. I've had another timing program running in the background. So yeah, no, I can see all that stuff. I don't need what I. So yeah, and I'm being told that hey, I can always just ask my director Jay Kennedy nicely, and he'll put it up on the timing tower instead of gap info. So there we go. McMillan, King, and Vassell pitting under the safety car. Shane Bowen actually has pitted during the safety car. A lap later than everyone else. You've got Ben Henniker, Peter Pavlov going up the town now, Mahoney, Colin Bruns, they're only a lap older, so they've got 1 flyer in, while the safety car had been called, mind you. So, we have got everyone except Wayne Taylor and Shane Bowen in the queue. Bowen's not going to catch these guys before we restart here, although I wonder if McMillan can just maybe help his teammate out a little bit here. It's basically a super cobalt sandwich in that they are 1st and 16th. McMillan off the hairpin. Nope, he's going for what would be the conventional run, unlike what we saw from Aaron Gilbert. He puts the hammer down, Mez. We go green at the start of lap 11 here for race 2 at Long Beach, and it stretches the front of the field out very nicely indeed.
Yep, this is the start that I would have gone for, and he's done that beautifully. So he's going to have a little bit of a gap as they head into turn 1. The rest of the field, as you can see, stretched out quite a bit as they move through turn 1. Mahoney with a little bit wide there. Everyone picks their way through, and looks like Dan Stevens making up a spot there as well. Billy's made a mistake. Sorry, that's just caught me out completely.
I was waiting to see if you'd get it, no offense. I was like, I don't want to steal it from you. But yeah, the 88 Nick McMillan, unforced error into the fountain on fresh tyres. He keeps it out of the wall, but completely hands the lead to Henry King. And almost said, please take it away from me. I don't want the challenge or the pressure or whatever you want to use to describe that one there. And Henry King said, say no more, sir. I will have that one free of charge. And Dan Stevens eventually able to squeeze his way through too. So next up now is Tim Nicol. Can he find a way through in the Quantum Peckies Racing 23?
You can just see if there's any pace left in those tyres of Dan Stevens. Yep, they're only about 4 laps older, but 4 laps can make a big difference now. And what kind of pace is McMillan going to have? Because that's going to hurt him a bit here. He's going to be feeling like he's got pace to burn, and now he's stuck back in P3. Such a simple mistake to make. Good job not hitting a wall. It's so easy to do there, but now if he's got tyres, he's got pace to burn. it's just gonna be burning him up on the inside. And you can see Henry King just checking out a little bit at the moment, just keeping that gap where he is. Stevens is going to be really pushing hard to try and close that gap. Danny's got a chance to have a win here. And there's another car off, car 13. Henniker round at the fountain. And yeah, Daniel Stevens through turn 8 at the moment. And at the moment, the sector times are about even between our first two drivers, Henry and Daniel. And even sector 3 again, both in the 21.2s. So we'll go back to a quick replay and see what happened here.
Self-inflicted, mounts the curb on the inside of the fountain, and it's enough to just roll the car around as the car loads up on the left-hand side tyres there. Henry King, 7 laps to go as he now leads across the line. Dan Stevens trying to stay in touch. He's dragging Millen with him there, but there you go. How about that? Fastest lap goes the way of Dan Stevens in this race, 19.7. Well, in fact, he ekes out Henry King by all of half a tenth to achieve that fastest lap. Certainly not much spare margin in that one there. Critically, though, Aaron Gilbert is only back in P7. He's been able to make some progress with that earlier pit stop for him from the back of the field. And he's back ahead of Joe Mahoney. They were scrapping in race 1, but Joel was about half done for the number 1 after winning race number 1 earlier tonight. So the progressive route coming up for race 3, put some more track and theory to be able to finish the job, as it were, and get at least 2 wins on the board for the evening.
Just notice that run up to sort of 3, 4, 5. You can see Daniel Stevens just rubbing the wall every single time. So he is using every inch of this track at the moment. And you can see as well, Nick McMillan is right on the rear bumper as well. So Nick McMillan's going with them at the moment. And you got this little battle behind as well from Tim Nicol and Gavin Cox as well. And you also see in the background too, Aaron Gilbert caught up in that little bit of a fight with Colin Bruns as well. So Aaron Gilbert tried to come through the field as well. And, oh, look at that. Jamie Davis out of nowhere with a 19.722. So, you can see a little battle there between the 111, Colin Bruns, Vassal, and Mahoney, I believe, as well.
Aaron Gilbert and Mahoney both got through Bruns there between turns 1 and the fountain.
Yeah. And that released him. So he's gone up 2 spots. So he's gone from 8 to 6. So that's released him quite a bit. So now we can sort of go down the road a bit. And that's okay. That's maybe a lockup or something. Yeah,
it was a lock of the rears between Tom Nick McMillan, trouble for the 88. Where has he gone? Down the runoff at turn 8. That's not something we see all that often. Most drivers, unfortunately, when they do something wrong there, they find the fence at that corner. Go to the replay once again. Was running in 3rd place. Here, unfortunately, after that mistake, handing the lead to Henry King, and the rears go on him there. And yeah, in a rare move, in a sense, because yeah, as I said, I'd say, Mez, most drivers, they lock up, they understeer, and they find the wall on exit. McMillan's able to find the runoff and flick spin it there at least.
Yeah, so can at least keep going, but yeah, that's just done such a fantastic job at the start of this race, and unfortunately, it's just gone downhill from there, but. Still back
91 hairpin. Spun in the middle of the road at the moment as we've got Henniker arriving on the scene of his position. Thankfully, the leaders are on the other side of the track, so I think Josh King will be able to get going by himself. Yep, he will. And he's done this. Oh, yep, gets the curbs.
Oh, that's very odd. He's sitting right in the middle of the track too. It's a very odd position to be in. But yeah, this battle, it's a top 4 at the moment. Then you can see Aaron Gilbert there. He's done a good job, aided with a little bit of done a good job getting through the field and aided with a few little mistakes from other drivers. But even Joe Mahoney coming with him as well. So going to set themselves up for a really good run in the final race. But yeah, this battle for the lead at the moment, Henry King, Daniel Stevens, the gap keeps closing. It was down to about 0.6 of a second. Actually started opening up again. But then we've also got this battle going on for P3, Tim Nicol, Gavin Cox as well. You can see Gavin's there or thereabouts, but yeah, Tim in the Quantum Pecky Performance Racing car, just doing enough at the moment to hold on to P3.
Yeah, we'll see if this can hold up. Just under 4 laps left in this race as Danny Vassal's run a little deep at turn 1. It's going to check himself up. Colin Bruns, Jamie Davis in there as well, along with Dean Alessi in the 34. Just starting to arrive on the scene there. Vassal's kept it. Oh, I think he's grabbed the wall slightly there, but the MFR 97 has been in the wars a little bit tonight. In fact, actually, yeah, he's actually ripped off the front guard. Big locking up. That's actually a decent meet with the tyres there. So stand corrected as go on board with Jamie Davis here, who we know has got pace, but has not been able to cut through the field like Gilbert and Mahoney have in their quest to reverse things here. As there's a lunge and a half from the 92 and gets it pulled up for turn 9. Might be a technicality on that definition there, Mez, I guess, because that was a brief glance at the wall. Was Vassal deep at turn 11, just checks him up there in the 92 as well.
It might present an opportunity, probably a little bit too far back actually now, but yeah.
Well, if what we saw a turn as an image, I don't think this counts as too far back with Jamie Davis.
Well, look, I was thinking it, but you know, I don't think Jamie was even going to throw it from that far back, but definitely going to get close enough this lap round to potentially look at a move. But yeah, you can see this train is just starting to form at the moment. So you've got the 868 of Stephen Varga, and then right behind you got McMillan. So P3 down to 13th. So that's such a cruel blow. But wait, see, he will have a tyre advantage to the cars around him at the moment, so he can try and pick him off as he can. But yeah, looking at this little battle here, 92 of Jamie Davis is going to get a good enough run off the corner. Will we see another move closing up on the rear bumper, but I don't know if he's going to get close enough. We'll close up under brakes though, using all of that curb to try and get it turned, but now it's going to be trying to set himself up, try and open up this corner. He's going to go for a look down the inside!
He stalled. Yeah, I think he stalled it on the apex. How he tags Vassal. Vassal gets away with it, and then Davis comes to a complete stop, and everyone goes by. We'll watch it here on replay. So yeah, touch, and then just nope. Car says no go. Oh, Vassal's in the wall at turn 1. McMillan's found the wall at turn 1 as well on the front, and this is the penultimate lap of the race. As Vassal, I saw McMillan go in solo. Did Vassal go in alone? Yeah, he did too. Oh no, big front left lock from Vassal has sent the 97 straight on. And then McMillan was fighting with Varga. Oh, he's tried out braking Varga and made it. So watch this here. Vassal, yep, locks himself up. And then if we can go back to the 88 real quick there. Fighting with Varga, out brakes himself around the outside, locks the rears and broadsides it into the tyres at turn 1. And then straight back into it now for second here. Tim Nicol has unfortunately, has he fielded to Dan Stevens or is he putting the blowtorch to Dan Stevens? Been told he's put him up. One of their auto deep. Gavin Cox through.
Oh, a little bit of tapping on the rear tyres. They're going to get the white flag as they go through. Tim Nicol's gonna just get out in front as well. And look, you can see in the background, Aaron Gilbert closing up in this battle too. This is the one I was wondering about, what was going to happen here. So Dan Stevens' pace has sort of fallen off a bit. It's allowed the two behind to catch up, but man, that was a little bit of a moment there. And you can see Dan Stevens is really struggling. Actually, Tim Nicol's right up on the rear bumper again, right up against the wall. Actually, there's a bit of damage to that front left corner of Daniel Stevens' car. He's under all sorts of attack at the moment. Nicol's going to go for a look down the inside. There he goes. He's got alongside. Stevens will keep the door open. We'll get the run off the corner. Now, is Gavin Cox going to try and take advantage of this? You can see in the background, Aaron Gilbert as well, looking for an opportunity. Nicol's very wide. He's going to touch the wall. And that's going to allow Gavin Cox to go through now. Aaron Gilbert.
Do it! Do it!
That's stacked. And that's a big hit.
Gilbert's going to carry on. Nickel's going to be able to carry on as well, but they bang wheels and they find the wall, and that's going to slow them both down a little bit there in all of that. But at the front of the field, it will be our second winner for the night in V8s. Henry King makes it Jinx Shifters, at least maintaining the momentum, even though it's different drivers. And Stevens, Gavin Cox will round out the podium here in race 2. And in fact, well, yeah, they'll actually go from 5th and 4th to 2nd and 3rd. My word. Firecrackers out tonight once again. And Tim Nicol not happy with that one, apparently. He's on the replay, we'll show it. You see here, Aaron Gilbert following the draft of Gavin Cox, Mez, and it fires Nicol's car into the wall, loses the spot to Mahoney. Thankfully, thanks to the gap behind, that would be all that Nicol loses there in that exchange, the 2 spots.
I'd like to get another replay of that one again, because there's not a whole lot that that Tim could do. You can't really vanish, but yeah, we'll go through the results anyway. Henry King gets the win. A 5-second gap back to Daniel Stevens. Gavin Cox will come through in P3 as well. Aaron Gilbert, a drive from the back of the field up to the front in that reverse 4th place as part of that reverse group rate. Joe Mahoney as well coming through the field will finish in 5th. Tim Nicol was looking for P3, but yes, got caught up in that contact. Colin Bruns comes up to 7th place. Dean Alessi in 8th. Peter Pavlovic will pop in at 9th place, and Stephen Varga will round out the top 10.
11 there at the line for race 2 goes to Jamie Davis, not able to cut his way through the field there in the 92. So got his work cut out for race 3. Behind him was Shane Bowen in the Cobalt Racing number 7. Danny Vassell, unfortunately, his late mistake in the 97 Team MFR car puts him back in 13th. Same for McMillan right behind him in P14 for the 88 machine after what could have been at that restart there. Ben Henniker behind, make it P15, and Joshua King, our final driver to finish the race in P16. As one final look on board here with Aaron Gilbert. Unfortunately here, watch the start steering. Now actually for us from that angle, it's pretty, it actually tells a bit of a different story. From the TV shot we saw earlier, it did look a lot more like Gilbert following Cox from right to left across the track, whereas that one almost looks like they at worst and almost difficult to decide, they come together in the middle there.
Yeah. I just had a quick look at our delayed feed as well, and yeah, I think it's more so two minds trying to meet in the middle. So, but yeah, that was that one said and done. But we'll move on to the final race. Henry King starts on pole with Dan Stevens alongside Gavin Cox. Will be out of P3 with Aaron Gilbert alongside out of P4. The 2 championship contenders, or 3 championship contenders in the top 4. Joe Mahoney coming out of 5th. Tim Nicol alongside in 6th spot. We'll move to Cullen Bruns out of P7. P8 will be Dean Alessi. And we'll move to P9. Peter Pavlovic in 9th place. Stephen Varga will be rounding out the 10. Jamie Davis in P11. Shane Bowen alongside Danny Vassell in 13th, Nick McMillan in P14, Ben Henniker in 15th, 16th, you flipped that too fast, Josh D. King, Wayne Taylor rounding out 17th place there. So we wait.
And Lindsay Hobbs and Steve Miller off the back to make it 19 cars once more, and indeed, can't really talk about it because we've got ourselves a race to get going. Third and final time as Gavin Cox, poor start in the 555, will drop back a bit here. In fact, almost gets absolutely mobbed off the start here. As they get going. And it looks like Stephen Varga, pardon me, where is he? In the pit lane, has not taken the start in the 868, so we had a spot driver missing from the order there. And indeed, very, very slow going. Oh, to the fountain. Alex in the 34 has gone through the fountain grass. Oh, the flower arrangement, I should say, sorry, but comes out the other side without hitting anyone, although that's a good whack to the left-hand side of that car already. Now, has he picked it up? And he's got the right-hand side too. In fact, is he broken steering at this point? Oh yeah, it is a little bit 45. Well, a little bit 45 degrees. Meanwhile, on for the lead. Stevens through. Gilbert eyeing off his teammate King as well. Mahoney in there. Good measure too.
Yeah, running down towards turn 9. Daniel Stevens got his nose that's in front, but Henry King's going to make him work for it. Aaron Gilbert's going to try and go up the inside as well. Teammates side by side. Looks like Gilbert's going to have his nose in front as they head towards the hairpin. Now it's going to really close up on him here.
Nicole!
We get contact, and that's straight into the 92. Jamie Davis again caught up in something, and
Nickel around. King as well. Oh my goodness.
Tim Nichols trying to flick the car around, but there is a lot of damage. The front and rears are gone on both those cars. Tim Nichols calling. I think he's calling for a tow there as well. So, and there's a safety car already making moves down the pit straight. Wow, that race has kicked off big time. I'm just waiting. Oh, we may or may not be getting a safety car here. I heard there was a request for tow.
He's got it. I think he's cut through the wall. Yeah, he's cut through the wall to get it to the pit entry. So he'll take a penalty for an unsafe entry, I think, and get on with it. So lap 1, Dean Alessi. So he slapped Pavlovich on the right-hand side, and then the wall. So that's the left-hand side. Then hits the wall on the right. Maybe a bit of help from McMillan, which got him all kinds of out of shape into the fountain. That's why he cuts into the flower beds. And then if we can, at some point, go back and try and dissect what on... Well, this is the full chain of events. We know it was Tim Nichols diving up the inside at the hairpin. Too late for Henry King to turn out. That started it all, and how it ended up going about 150 metres, if not more, down the straight. Jamie Davis, unfortunately, one of the victims of it. Mechanical black flag for him will mean he comes to the lane, as here's the replay. So yeah, just too deep from Nickel. Davis just gets collected, and then from here, focusing on the 23 and the 2 if we can. Colin Bruns, Bruns contacts King, and that gets Nickel a second time.
Yep, 3 cars coming out of that corner. Not sure what's... Yeah, maybe Colin didn't quite see what was going alongside it. It was just wheel-to-wheel contact that sort of sparked that completely. But yeah, that move from Tim, that obviously triggered the whole thing. Just came back from way too far to get that one done. But yeah, it's obviously released the top 3 out of that little battle pack. So Dan Stevens leading at the moment, Aaron Gilbert sitting in second, and Joe Mahoney's done a fantastic job to actually avoid all that. He was right in the middle of all that as it was unfolding, and he's done a fantastic job to get out of there with no damage to the car by the looks of it. So I'd say if he hasn't bought a lottery ticket, I'd probably go and buy one straight after this race, because you've got a bit of luck still left.
Yeah, let's go on board with him here. So there's King. There's the contact from Nickel. So he's able to sneak around the outside. A traffic jam to the hairpin in real time, meanwhile. No! We've got 7 cars parked up. Make it 8 in a second because Nickel arrives on the scene. How has this happened? I didn't see this.
Yeah.
Someone drives in. Now they're all trying to move.
Yeah, and the radios are barking up big time. Yeah, and I've got to sympathise with Peter. He's in such an awkward position, and everyone is just trying to sort of get through and just making the whole situation worse. And he's finally going to get an opportunity to swing it back around, but love to know what's triggered that one off. Have a look on.
Gavin Cox. Get Shane Bowen, and then they're just stuck on the outside. Pavlovich, Vassal, Stead Miller, Wayne Taylor, Lindsay Hobbs, Josh King, Ben Henniker in the 13.
Yeah, that's yeah. So
Tim bit of a parked up exit of turn 5, and he just toes. Okay, that denies the safety car there.
Yep, unfortunate, but yeah, that was seeing Colin Bruns in a little bit of a battle there as well with Nick McMillan. So Nick McMillan coming up to P5 as well. So, but yeah, no, that whole situation was just a bit of a clumsy passing attempt, and then yeah, just drivers just not being patient at all, just trying to force their way in. Oh, Stead Miller, that is a big hit into the wall. More contact as well, so that car is not looking very good at the moment. Wow, they've definitely saved up all the action for this final race at the moment. Gavin Cox on screen at the moment. Looks like was involved in that little one as well. Oh, sorry, was the instigator in that little incident. Down in P6 at the moment. So and that's also stemmed from not getting a good start. We saw from the start, just did not get it off the line, sunk back into the pack. So in trying to get through the field, has unfortunately got himself involved in another incident. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see what race control looks at that one, because that might be a little bit of a slam dunk when they go and have a look at that one.
Pavlovich is parked up at the fountain, but he's just been given clearance to tow, and he will take that. So it looks like race control are going to minimise safety cars here, unless it's really, really needed. 216, and unfortunately, he's done this all by himself. Gets the curb, the car's damaged. Just goes around from there, and then I think, well, decides that's that, but he will from there. He moved the car right over to the wall and basically tucked into the fountain. I believe they would have a crane there if the car's out. There's also a bit of a break in the wall on that side of things, given that's on the exit. Actually, no, it's a solid tyre bundle, but they could have plenty of space in there for a crane to be able to hoist cars over the fence at that point to clean things up. As we're back on live pictures again here, the battle for 4th place. McMillan has been able to survive and get his way through to here, but 11 seconds off the lead, so this is where his race is at by looks things. Locks up into 8, finds the wall, tyres. Colin Bruns tries to keep his foot in it, go round the left-hand side, and that was never going to be an open room gap there, so Gavin Cox will go on by in the 555.
Trying to find gaps that don't exist there. Didn't quite work the first time. Well, it definitely wasn't going to work the second time, but Gavin managing to get a spot out of that one. So, hits the wall hard, and yeah, just unable to make that work. But yeah, they have managed to pop out the other side as they make their run down to turn 1. So Gavin Cox, you're looking at the rear bumper at the moment. So this is P5, B4. Nick McMillan sitting in P4 at the moment. So this is a good, obviously off that start, the question mark is still hanging over Gavin Cox about what race control will think about involvement in that little incident. But he'll be not worrying about that at the moment. He's got Nick in front of him at the moment for P4, and he'll just be focusing on trying to get that job done, and does seem to have the pace at the moment. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see if that contact on the wall, it was a decent hit as well, so it may have actually bent the steering of Nick's car as well, so you might be dealing with a little bit of front damage. You can see he's run well wide into turn 8, just could not get the power down. Gavin's going to try and get alongside, so make the run down to turn 9. Gavin got the car down the inside. As they run through, they're going to stay side by side as well, but Gavin's just got the nose in front. Not quite. They're still going to stay side by side. And is this going to work? There's a bit of push and shove, but Gavin will get the job done. And we'll move up a spot. Colin Bruns will be having a look now as well. We're sitting in behind this. So run down the front straight, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to get in the draft enough to have a run at turn 1. So that releases Gavin into P4. But yeah, try to make that work. We've seen it enough already tonight. 2 wide does not really work into there, and yeah, it's a little bit of contact coming off the corner.
And again, it's, I guess, part of this whole thing of at the hairpin, if you want to defend the spot, you've got to really park your car in a way, if you can, mind you, to protect it. If you're on the outside, the only way you're keeping a spot is if you give it up on the entry, and you can cross the driver on the inside over and take the spot back for exit. Josh King in the 91 autoserve car. That has gone in backwards, something fierce to the tyres. That's enough to destroy the. And it's happened again. turn 9. He's parked up for a second there as the Cox, McMillan, and Bruns go by. He'll limp that car back to the pits. It already had a mechanical black flag. I don't think that's helped much in that respect here, as we'll see. So yeah, look at that 3 we were just talking about and been watching for. Oh, gee, that's gone in super hard at turn 9. It's almost as if like the car had a virtual brake failure there with the way it didn't slow down.
Surprised it didn't pop the motor as well. He went in there nose first really, really hard. So, but yeah, he's managed to fire it up and keep going again. But yeah, this battle for 4th place still not over yet. Gavin has the lead, but also worth noting too, the lead as well has actually, very sideways there from Nick McMillan, but the lead has actually closed up quite a bit as well. I noticed before it was down to 0.3 of a second. Having a look on replay at the moment, not bad. A little bit of a slide off the corner, but it's not going to make the rear tyres feel all that happy. But yeah, the battle for the lead, not over yet. Still we'll have about 9 laps to go when they hit the line. But yeah, Aaron's able to close this gap up, and look at Daniel Stevens going very defensive off the corner. Aaron trying to get the power down. You can see the rear was just skipping on him, just could not get it going. Dan's actually managed to get a good run off the corner as well. We'll hold that gap. You can see that sun trying to burst through the trees there. It's going to be getting in their eyes a little bit. Thankfully, it's not going to be in their eyes when they get to turn 1, but Aaron closing up a little bit. A really nice run through turn 1, 2. He's going to close up big time, massively gained into the fountain section, and yeah, Daniel Stevens a bit offline as well. That's going to allow Aaron to close up a little bit. So maybe the rear tyres, maybe the stability of that MFR car is just starting to go away from him, and that's allowing Aaron to just close up that gap a little bit, start applying a bit of pressure to the back of the number 3 car.
Yeah, well, the fact that we are about halfway into this one, in fact we are on the halfway mark on this particular lap, and less than half of this lap left to go. We're curious to watch. Stevens keeps to the racing line to maximise the entry into turn 9, but he's tight through this double left, and there we go, defensive into the hairpin, so he's going to cover that one off early, prevent any kind of a lunge from Aaron Gilbert, as the headlights have come on here in these cars, and the sun continues to set here at virtual Long Beach, just past 6 o'clock virtual time, and cooler temperatures than what we saw for Toyota Tourers earlier. If I'm not mistaken, sunset officially in game is about 20 minutes away, but we shouldn't get there on virtue of the lap count, so no need to worry about that, although it will just mean that sun will drop a little lower in this remaining 8 and a bit laps, and depending on exact orientations. What do we got? Northwesterly winds. So that sun's going to be coming. Basically, it's in their face as they're, well, kind of in their face along this part of the track. So guess what that means? You've got a ton of apartment blocks here to protect you.
Yeah. Kind of sometimes the perks of racing in a city. You can have the buildings protect you from the sunlight, but you could see this. See, I've noticed this before as well, and again, just sits the car on the apex, and you can see Stevens is just well offline. Like, he's not using the sort of traditional racing lines, whether or not he's modified his line to sort of give himself an opportunity to block that corner off, stop a passing attempt there. But yeah, you can tell Stevens is well offline. He's coming off that final corner really, really well, even though, you know, you've got Aaron Gilbert rattling on his rear bumper as they come off the corner. He still can't get the power down because his line's sort of a little bit compromised by Stevens. So it's allowing Stevens to get a good run off the corner. So it's working out well for the moment. Stevens is doing more than enough through this phase of the circuit to keep that gap where it is. And then obviously checking Aaron up into that final hairpin to make sure he's got the run onto the front straight. But still a lot of laps to go in here in this one, and you'd be thinking at the moment, maybe Aaron would be thinking at the moment, actually, you know, do I just sort of sit back, keep the tyres a little bit longer, and then try and launch another attack later on in the race? There's still a fair bit to go in this one. Hasn't really had a look. He's definitely gaining a bit of time. You can see how close he is when they run into turn 9, so he's definitely gaining some time there. It's almost like Aaron is trying to eye up an opportunity to pass into turn 11.
Oh, my word. Stevens tried to block it up into the hairpin, but I think Gilbert's finally decided to wise up to it. He was far enough back that he could have crossed over. And then Stevens, big fat slide, and then he gives up the shorter line through the kink before turn 1. And that means he's going to get stuck in here at turn 1 as Josh King going for a tow over at turn 9 in the 91. He's on the racing line too. Cars are having to pull up and slow down when they get there. What are we going to do here? Do we get the safety car to cut this fight for the lead? Oh, Varga's driven into him there at turn 9 as well. Now, Jamie Davis has joined in. Surely this needs to be the safety car that's going to bring this to a pause.
Yeah, he's called for a tow again. Race control.
He's still parked. Our leaders are coming. I think this needs a safety car, but we've got the safety car's moving down the pit lane. There it is.
Yep.
Leaders need to be aware of this. Here they come.
Oh, how close was that one? They both avoided that narrowly. Oh, even Gavin Cox is almost put in there as well. Yeah, geez, someone should have been... Oh, man, I'm not sure what's happened with race control there, but you'd almost think someone will be on there to tell them.
Our biggest problem is our only person in race control at the moment is Anthony Green. Ben Christensen was here earlier, but apparently some issues for his computer means that he's basically... Well, he was dead in the water and has actually left the server a while back. And the only other two people that in race control per se are Aaron Gilbert and Henry King. And they're out on track.
Yeah. So Anthony Green.
Anthony Green is in Discord with Gilbert and King, I should say. Right, safety car's out and picked up the leaders, and the track is now being cleared. So that moment is averted.
Man, that's
As we're going to see here, what has caused Josh King's car to come to a screeching halt here, despite the fast repairs and everything. Did that accelerate into turn 8? That looked like it kind of, went faster when it got to the corner. As I've been told, wait for turn 9. So he's trundling along on the brakes.
Yeah, let the car go.
And he's misjudged that one.
Not sure what's going on there. That car was just not happy at all, and then you can see it lunge a bit. I think that's it. I think that's killed it there. And then obviously, we saw what followed up. So, man, that was an intense little bit. So I'm with Dan Stevens at the moment.
Safety car called as he's under brakes. Yeah,
that could have gone so bad so quickly. So good job to avoid it all. But man, that was obviously a tense moment for them. You go around a corner and all of a sudden, there's a car stopped in front of me. So good job everyone to avoid that one. But under safety car for the moment. We'll have a little bit of time left, and we should go green, I believe, with 4 laps to go. So it's going to be a 4-lap shootout to see who can win this third race of the night. And it's only seen a few people make their way to pit lane. Dean Alessi, Lindsay Hobbs, Henry King, Jamie Davis, 2 stops tonight in this race. Danny Vassell, Ben Henniker, Stead Miller as well making their way to pit lane. So they'll have fresh tyres to go to the end. But obviously this lead pack at the moment, not any of them is going to be making their way to pit lane. They're going to want to stay out and keep track position.
Yeah, there's no time left in this race to be doing pit stops. Although in the case of Shane Bowen back there in the number 7 Cobalt racing car, that looks like a bit of damage on his. I hope for his sake that's not going to be affecting his pace out on track, because otherwise he'll just drop back like a bit of a stone of bricks. As we get the confirmation, the safety car is about to pull away from the field here and hand control over to Dan Stevens for the restart. So we've seen Aaron Gilbert go very late. We've seen Nick McMillan go for the conventional exit off the hairpin. Does Dan Stevens go somewhere in between, or perhaps a little more conventional as well for him? He's going to need every meter of road he can get, and you would think that the hairpin is the place to do it, because otherwise Aaron Gilbert is going to be all over his gearbox on the run to turn 1. He has control from now, Mez. Let's see when he goes.
Now, will it be early? Will it be late? He's going to try and slow everyone up. So let him come off the corner and
nice
back
straight
to
exit.
green. Yep. Arced it up beautifully, just got the power down. So we go back to green, and he's going to open a big gap, 0.8 of a second as they hit the line. So he's had a fantastic jump. Now it's going to be up to the guys behind. It's also separated Mahoney as well. He is not able to sit on the rear bumper. Gavin Cox as well as gone with, and then you got sitting just behind them Nick Millen, Colin Bruns. Everyone feeds their way through turn 1. A few of the cars behind. You can see Henry King just popped through there. Henry King was one of those that took the pit stop, so we'll see if our race 2 winner can pull themselves way through the field. You can see Dan Stevens already under attack. One is around already. Looks as though we'll carry on with that one, but you can already see the top 2 skipping away for the moment.
As we see here, turn 1, look at the difference in racing line there. Dan Stevens, he's got this very interesting line where he's very conservative and gets it turned in ultra early. And as a result, look at that there. Margin gone by the end of the first lap after the race. And again here, into 9. Shallower entry from Stevens through 10 and then 11 too. And Gilbert right back on the gearbox. And now we see again who can get the straighter drive on that particular lap. I'd say that goes to Stevens there. Able to get it pointed out and pull an extra car length that he's going to need here, because watch this at turn 1 in particular if we can. The way their lines will differ here. They'll follow the red line for a bit and then... Oh, no, Stevens will now do a bit more of a normal line through turn 1 just to completely throw things off for me here. As further on back, Lindsay Hobbs and Jamie Davis both having a go on. That's Wayne Taylor thereafter. And they've made that one work. Nope, Hobbs did. Taylor didn't. Sorry, Davis didn't. Yeah, my apologies. But yeah, it's fighting up and down the field. Of course, eyes are on this one here. Mahoney has not been able to go with Gilbert. With 2.5 laps to go, this looks like it's going to be a 2-horse race to decide our final winner of the night.
Yeah, just skipping away for the moment. Daniel Stevens actually just done the session best first sector as well. So them obviously being under safety cars allowed the tyres to cool down a little bit and restore a little bit of pace to them. But yeah, this back half of the circuit, this is where Aaron Gilbert is so much quicker. You can see he's trying to sort of, I guess what he's trying to do is trying to position
turn 9
side.
2 MF5 cars, Vassal's been clipped by Wayne Taylor in 57.
Careful. Still cars going through, but looks like we'll get back on track. But yeah, the last half of the track seems to be where Stevens is probably the most susceptible to Gilbert. He's got a bit more pace there, but you can sort of see Gilbert's been trying to sort of get the car offset to Stevens to maybe try and get a chance to straighten the car up a bit more as they come off the corner, because at the moment that's what's hurting Gilbert at the moment. He can't get the car straight enough because he's been checked up so much in the corner. Stevens is already going before he even has a chance to sort of get on the throttle. So he's got to try and get the car wide of get the car wide of Stevens, so that he can try and get on the power a little bit early and try and carry the momentum with Stevens down to turn 1. So Stevens is doing the right thing. He's slowing Gilbert up at the apex. So now Gilbert's got to try and find a way. How can I get that car straighter? How can I try and do a bit of a crisscross? They get into the corner again, slowing him right up, parked him hard. This is actually starting to bring Mahoney in as well. And we'll get the white flag as they make the run down to turn 1 for the final time. The top 5 fairly close to each other. They'll make the run. Gilbert, is he going to try and fire one down the inside? No. Stevens will just block a little bit. Not too much, but for the moment, he'll get through turn 1. So they get to the fountain. And again, Gilbert just all over the back of Daniel Stevens.
On that last lap, lap 18, to be honest, it looked like Stevens was doing a better job of getting a straighter exit initially, and getting on the power earlier. But what he was doing was he was actually sort of allowing himself to be aimed at the wall diagonally on quite a few corners and just working the car over a little later. For example, there into turn 8, he's not getting as far over to the left-hand side for corner entry because he's focusing on the exit back at turn 6 to give himself a little bit more margin here. Run to turn 9, he should be safe. In fact, he is safe unless he makes an error there under brakes, and he will pull it up for the apex here. Gilbert strong through this final part, but with what we've seen from Stevens, he'll probably park the bus one final time, and indeed he will. Very tight, parks it absolutely there. Gilbert tries for a bit of overlap there, but Stevens puts it up on the wall with the left rear corner, and he will take the third and final race. Both of our categories tonight, Mez, have had 3 race winners from their 3 starts, and the variety is the theme of the night, as Dan Stevens will break the Team Jinx Shifters' dominance of the V8s here tonight in terms of race wins, and give MFR 1 on the board for them here on the streets of Long Beach tonight.
Yeah, that was a fantastic drive from Daniel Stevens. So controlled, a lot of pressure from Gilbert, and it's one of the situations where it's so easy to make a mistake when you've got the guy behind you just tapping on that rear bumper, making you know that you're there. And yeah, Stevens just showing cool, calmed, and did everything he needed to, and yeah, got the job done.
Yeah, it was excellent execution, that's for sure. As here are the results from the third and final race of the V8s at Long Beach. 0.3 of a second the margin from Stevens to Gilbert there across the line. 0.7 covering your top 3 as Joe Mahoney stays on the podium. In fact, looking at Mahoney's results tonight, 2nd, 5th, and 3rd. Almost in with a chance, well, was almost a chance of fighting for the round result. Gavin Cox just outside the podium for a second time tonight there in 4th. Climb up the field for Nick McMillan to get to P5 after dropping back into the teens in race 2. Colin Bruns in behind him, the next pack there starting off in P6 with Stephen Varga behind for 7th. And it was Dean Lessie who was just on the bumper of Varga for the 34, end up P8. And then a small gap back to Jamie Davis and Lindsay Hobbs, the next 2 cars ran out top 10. They were also joined by Henry King there in 11th as a small pack to finish things off. Ben Henniker makes a couple of spots in race 3 to finish 12th, with Shane Bowen unfortunately spinning around there late in the piece to end up back in 13th. And then Danny Vassell and Wayne Taylor tripping up on each other, unfortunately. There will be our last 2 cars on the lead lap, with Stead Miller finishing a lap down, and Josh King and Peter Pavlovich, along with Tim Nichols, our 3 retirements from that one there. And that's just about going to wrap us up here tonight, Mez. And we have ourselves a 3-week break in the V8SCOPS schedule. When it returns, we will be back once again with more support series coverage as we head to Circuit de Jerez over in Spain. The Grand Tour and the V8s will play host to their penultimate rounds of action Friday, November the 3rd. And with that all said and done, I think we'll finish up here for tonight. But final words from you here, Mez, after the 2-litre Tourism V8s action here at Long Beach?
fantastic race to watch. Obviously, fantastic to see 3 winners from 3 races in both categories. The V8s turned it on again, as always, and yeah, very good to sit and study how the races went tonight, because I'll be on track tomorrow for the flat sixes. So yeah, I've spent the night learning what not to do, and chances are I'll probably do it tomorrow anyway. So, but hey, still was awesome to be part of.
Indeed, I'll make sure to give you a good ribbing if you do stuff things up, since I'll be here on commentary and producing that one as well, and hopefully have Race Gardner back for that one as well. I've been told to expect him back, so the slightly crazy duo that is the two of us will be there as well. Just the one category tomorrow night as well on the flat sixes, so it'll be a bit of a shorter forecast as well to help things out there. You can join us from 7:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow night for the flat sixes here at Long Beach, and then join us from 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon for the Long Beach 600 to round out 2023 V8SCOPS Endurance Cup campaign. I'm Daniel Yeaman. It's been Simon Mazzomo here in the commentary box next to me tonight. Jay Kennedy on production for us this evening. Thank you all for joining us here. Enjoy the rest of your night. We hope to see you back tomorrow night and Sunday afternoon for this action here from Long Beach. Until then, have a good one, and we'll be back in just less than 24 hours time.